All right, here we go. I am officially unmuting y'all. Hello, everybody. How we doing?
Hello.
Woo.
Oh, look at us. So official.
All
It
talking.
looks so good.
And look at Oz's Christmas
I
outfit.
know, look at us.
He looks so
Hello.
festive.
Can that hat? Oh my god, the hat can be pulled down.
All right, so we are back. It looks like TK has just read my Steam thing because he's like, "You like Metroidvanias, fighting games?" He's gonna send me something. He's sending me something. Oh my god, it's Christmas already. All right. Bird. A bird is a word. All right, let's get started, guys. So we've had a crazy couple weeks. We were off for 2 weeks because of Thanksgiving stuff. And then we finished this big arc. You can check out all of our previous episodes on this link right here to our playlist. But we're all here right now. Last week I had the amazing opportunity this past weekend to see Ree and Ink in real life in New York City. That was a lot of fun. But now Ink and I are both a little bit sniffly and sneezy from sickness, and so you'll have to give us a little bit of head cloudiness space in case we're not our normal jolly selves. Oh my god, he just sent me a gift. What did he send me?
He does this all the time.
Really? I will accept this gift. I'll accept it.
Oh, and did you unmute us?
Yes, I did. I believe so.
Oh, good.
We'll check it out after. That's nice of him. Okay. So let's do our normal intro, outro thingy here. So hello everybody, and welcome to Wrath of the Godkin, the D&D campaign where sick finance bros are the true monsters. I know two of us know what I'm talking about there. Say hello to Ronnie the Bugbear Fighter, Waylon the Human Paladin, Oz the Kenku Wizard, Kelken the Furbolg Druid, and Affinity the Tiefling Bard. Our heroes are experts at getting themselves into trouble, but before they do exactly that, let's remind you viewers at home what happened previously on Wrath of the Godkin. So last time the party fought a brutal battle against Stony, who is this like construct ruin guardian, and they eventually impressed him so much with the strength of their loyalty to one another that he decided that they'd successfully completed this combat challenge against him. So he then opened up this vault door in the ruins that they've been trying to get to after collecting all these orbs for many, many weeks. And they found a bounty of treasures inside that Stony had specifically conjured for them based on his study of their behavior. So they got a bunch of neat magic items out of that. And in addition, they found a much larger and more startling prize, a Terrabane mecha, a large mechanical suit made in partnership between the elves, dwarves, and gnomes. So Stony informed them that it was one of these devices are responsible for sealing the gods away behind the Elder Glass during the sealing, this old event, which froze the gods behind this huge, like, glass crystalline wall, where they currently still are. This is, like, hundreds of years ago. So the party called their Megalothari, aka giant worm friend, Kikidabakata, or Kiki, to inspect this armor, and Stony explained that the suit, this metal suit, was worn by and designed for his people, the Megalothari. These worms are meant to wear these suits. Stony pitched a plan to keep the device out of the hands of the Godkin, these weird demigods, sort of harassing Plantania, and so they would send Kiki deep into the Underdark wearing the mech suit, where Kiki could find some place to hide it from the Godkin. The party agreed to this, wanting to keep the device out of the hands of the Godkin Nautilus Bloodfoam, who'd been tormenting them. And so after that, they exited the ruins, sealing them up tight, and saying goodbye to Stony and to Kiki, who they assumed they'd meet up with later after he stowed the thing away. And the party returned to their friends in the Boar Fields, where they left them all the NPC buddies that they made along the way. And so Waylon, while they were resting at camp, spoke to Fabian, the god living in his head, privately, to make sure the suddenly sullen god was doing okay. Fabian revealed his ambivalent feelings about the whole affair, everything they'd been through, admitting that he didn't know whether or not he liked that the gods were sealed away because it meant that he had lost his powers in the process. Waylon convinced Fabian that Fabian was helping the party and that was making a difference in its own way. The following morning, the party met up with Captain Horatio, the hobgoblin captain, who is in charge of this pirate town that they previously visited, to tell them of their mighty deeds and prepare to set sail for the island country of Plantania, and more specifically, city of Jerixbon, where they had always been meant to go. They would set out on their journey to deliver this statue initially before they got shipwrecked on this island to begin with. So, after a failed persuasion attempt, Kelken enlisted Affinity to help him convince Tuck, the dino-loving cave dwarf, to join them on their voyage. After some awkward conversations about Tuck's feelings regarding gulp girls, Tuck agreed to sail with them. Oz convinced a few of the renegade island children to join him on the voyage as well, creating a feral entourage of 5 orphans, and we'll get to know them a little bit more later. And Oz's dinosaur friend Tonka nearly missed the ship as it left port, but thanks to Oz's quick thinking with some bananas, the dino found the motivation to leap on board right on top of Horatio and start licking his face. So sailing down the coast toward the Mermaid Grotto, the party made one last stop where they picked up their dear departed friend Pug and brought him to the Mermaid Grotto where he would be buried to help him fulfill his lifelong dream of meeting the mermaids. Tonka would cross an ocean without the boat for those bananas. That's probably true. Hopefully there's bananas at the destination. Otherwise things could get ugly. Before we get started... this could get bananas. Just a reminder, you can donate to change the outcome of the game, and the rewards are listed right there on screen. I also got to see Re and Ink in person live at Barcade, New York. That's what the Finance Bros reference was full about. And like I said, Ink and I are super sick right now, so please forgive us if we sound a little groggy and congested. All right, so with that, our party finds themselves on a brand new adventure. We're at a new stage in our story. We are aboard a sailing vessel belonging to Captain Horatio. It's called the Dragon's Breath. This is the name of this mighty pirate sailing ship, sort of a frigate. And they have a relatively short voyage of a few days, hopefully, barring any strange incidents. And as their thoughts drift from their recent shipwreck, they hope this one won't be quite so eventful, and that Nautilus Bloodfoam will be far from their charted course. And so that is where we join the party right now. And as you can see here, let me bring myself out of studio mode so I can bring us up a little bit. But as you can see here, everybody's aboard this vessel. We're currently looking at the top deck of the Dragon's Breath, Captain Horatio's pirate sailing vessel. And we're all up here. We've got Lady Barnaby, the Kenku Budgie, is swabbing the decks and happily singing a song about how a pirate's life is the life for her, and just really using, kind of doing a dance with her mop as she scrubs the decks. She really seems to be enjoying the vessel, and everyone else is sort of standing around, unsure of what to do as the pirate folk are bustling about. Some of our NPC friends are down below deck. Specifically, Tavian and Polly went to go check on the supplies and, look for any signs of vermin, specifically keeping in mind what happened on their first voyage. Want to make sure that there's no incidents
We just leave him there?
with any were-rats. Yeah, I think last we saw him was on the island, and there hasn't been any sign of this were-rat guy who had tormented you guys previously. So hopefully he's far from this vessel, and you guys are free from his clutches. Oz, you are sort of watching as your child wards are running around. You've adopted, semi-adopted, and semi just brought along these kids from the local village who had their own sort of Lost Boys, pirate grotto in a cave that's only big enough for them. And so as you spent some more time with them, you've gotten to know them. We're about it's the following morning. You guys have already gotten to crash for one night, those of you who could sleep. And so it is morning right now, and you are becoming a little bit more familiar with these kids. so far, I briefly described what the kids looked like, but I would like to go into a little bit more detail now just to give you a little sense of what they're like. You've got Zayla, who is this lanky half-elf girl with dark hair, kind of a meek girl. In my head, she kind of looks like Violet from The Incredibles a little bit. And you've got Buggo, who's got spiky brown hair. He seems to be a human child. And Quig, who's like his sidekick with shaggy blonde hair that falls over his eyes. You can't really see it very well. He's got a big nose and he's got a protruding lower lip. And then you have Jolie and Lipa, who are both twins, and they appear to be halflings. One has an eye patch, and the other has a hook on her hand. It's unclear if they are affectations or necessities. Right now, you see Lipa climbing up the rigging and nearly knocking out some other sailors who are trying to do their jobs. And Lipa sees this as a form of a race. It seems like she can't get enough of climbing stuff and is just zooming up and down, sort of like a spider monkey, and is like poking fun. Ha ha! I beat you! And they're getting angry. It's not a race, but they look like they wish they had won all the same. And Jolie is laughing and kicking her legs up. Meanwhile, Buggo and Quig are running below deck to get into some sort of trouble, and Zayla is shrugging and following them. And yeah, you've got the sense that the kids are having the time of their lives, but perhaps some of the pirates are getting a little bit perturbed by their behavior already. Just having a bunch of these kids on board probably didn't have the best relationship with them to begin with. So as we are joining you guys on this vessel, if anyone would like to describe what they are doing above deck before we start getting into some different RP situations, you can go right ahead.
Ozzy, seeming to forget the how poorly our last boat trip ended, is just excitedly trotting from one side of the boat to the other, looking over the edge. And hears little bird feet kind of clicky clack as he just sort of trots around having fun.
Sailors are carrying ropes and these large arrows you see that are they're fitting into some of these like spear guns that have lined the side of the boats. Unlike a normal sailing vessel, they don't seem to have a ton of cannons on the ship. They have these like harpoon guns that are all along either side of the vessel. And Oz, not really getting in the way, but you're sort of stepping in front of them absent-mindedly, walking from side to side as they are setting up these riggings. It didn't seem like they had a ton of time to set them up because everybody left in such a haste. But as you're looking over the side of the boat, it is clear skies and it's a little bit warm, but that salty sea air blowing a pleasant breeze. It's actually a really beautiful day, and it fills your heart with a sense of adventure, and does help you forget about the previous ill-fated voyage. It seems like this one is off to a better start already. Does anyone else have anything that they would like to do RP-wise?
I think I'm sort of just standing by the edge of the ship, like you said, enjoying the sun, looking over, watching the schools of fish, the dolphins, any other kind of marine wildlife that happens to be going by, or maybe keeping up with the ship, and just enjoying the day. I'm trying not to get seasick, I guess.
Sure. Would you like to try to check out some of these fish you see passing by? See if you can
Hell
get
yeah.
any sketching or what do you call it? Any work done, just doodling and taking notes on anything.
Yeah, I think Kelkin's also just sort of in the process of slightly formalizing his very just doodle-filled notebook in hopes of making it actually, maybe a bit more usable and legible to people that aren't him.
And you will have plenty of time in the evenings around these or on this ship, and you've probably already done so already last night, unless you guys are just too pooped and happy to sort of be on a trip that's out of your control. You guys have to remember you've been on this island fighting to survive, so to speak, although Ronnie has been a huge help in that regard for the past week or so. And so now you're basically back to being in the back seats, so to speak, allowing someone else to charter your voyage. You aren't in charge of this vessel. You're basically passengers to a certain extent. So as you you can also give me a just a basic perception check too.
Sure.
So about, I don't know how to do it in nautical miles, but about 500 feet off of the away from you on the starboard side of the vessel, which you are currently on, you see that there appears to be something glimmering, something silvery glimmering, almost like daggers shooting out of the water. And as you squint and press your glasses a little bit closer to your face, and they glint in the sunlight anime style, you recognize that these appear to be the type of fish that you've heard of before but never seen, flying fish that jump out of the water and flutter a little bit with their fins in the air. And it looks like they are attempting to go after some gnats or other smaller creatures at the surface, either a small pooling of shrimp or something, but they seem to be jumping out almost like miniature dolphins. And you can't get a good enough look at them to really study them because of the distance, but you are sort of like momentarily delighted by the fact that these little guys are out there. And it just seems to be like, oh, right. We've seen so much in the past couple weeks. Like, I forgot that I can still be amazed by stuff. So you have a little moment of like, okay, maybe not all surprises are bad surprises, like many of them tended to be on the island. So it's a nice little moment. You're kind of bummed that we can't, you can't turn to Horatio and be like, uh, uh, can we slow down and look at those fish? You realize that's ridiculous, but at the same time, you're like, yeah, maybe someday I'll be able to stop our relentless pace and do something like that.
Yeah. I imagine they're very beautiful looking too, just catching the sunlight.
Yeah, it's they're almost sort of like sardines in that they are almost entirely one color that's goes sort of to like a like almost metallic shine. So like it is in the glittering in the sunlight as they come out of the darkness and into the air. It's very hard to get a good sense of them because they look sort of like Finn's dagger, almost just like they just zoop out, shine in the light, and then disappear back into the depths. So you are only able to really tell what they are and that they aren't birds by the fact that of their shape, and you can see the slight fluttering of the fins. So you're putting together based on books that you've read that is what they are, more so than
Right.
you are using like since you don't have any like binoculars or any way to like get a closer look at present. So it's just a delightful little sight for you in that. Is there anything else anybody else would like to do or check out on the ship?
I think Ronnie is very much feeling that sort of like, okay, back into normal mode, and they're getting a little withdrawn maybe, but I think they're just gonna like do a circuit of the top deck, do a circuit of the lower decks, just like make sure that they're familiar. Like they're sort of like reverting to like, cool, we're in getting back to like bodyguard mode. Are we going to be able to maybe finish the thing that we were originally asked to do? They want to be familiar with the layout of the full ship. And they also want to get a sense of if they can see where the statue is.
Great. All right, so let's do that now. So I'm gonna take charge of your token for a second here, so I can lead you down to the lower decks and stuff like that. So as you're looking around and sort of marching around the top deck, you get a sense that between Horatio and his first mate, they have this top deck working pretty smoothly and seem to be just based on an initial. Well, give me an insight check on Horatio real quick as you're marching around and inspecting everything. He seems like extremely resentful of Finn and Kelken, who seem to be just chilling out. And he also seems particularly annoyed at Oz getting in the way, and he's trying to focus on ordering people about. He still looks a little bit more anxious than he did when you saw him previously, even having just been harassed by Nautilus when you first met him. He seemed like completely at ease when you guys made that deal with him, like he might have a leg up, but right now he still seems antsy, like he's looking over his shoulder, nervous that he's going to get the rug pulled out from under him. And he doesn't like to be hanging around with all these lollygaggers. And picking up on that vibe, you're going to say, all right, I'm not going to get in this guy's way so much. I'm going to just head under to the next deck to check this out. So I'm going to bring you down to the middle deck right here. And I'm going to move the camera out a little bit and bring you guys here for a second. And feel free to remind me in the game chat, in the Roll20 chat, if I forget to move the camera correctly. I always like those suggestions because I just like knowing where everything is. So you get to the middle deck. This is mostly like crew quarters and some rigging. This is also where they store a lot of the arrows and have some more of these lower harpoon guns too. You see Astrid there, sort of like getting her weapons situated and studying and talking to one of these sailors specifically about how to operate these harpoon guns. It's clear she's heard of them before and is definitely interested in them, but has only done harpoon fishing by hand or by like a smaller crossbow like device. So these heavier artillery things she seemed a little bit skeptical of, but this guy is giving her a rundown right now, and she's actually, her eyes seem to have widened a little bit, and she's sort of like, oh, she's liking it. He's basically explaining to her that while they lack the precision of them, the fact that they have so many of them and they do such heavy damage means you can really haul in larger beasts. You could take out whales, larger sharks, giant squids, things that would be devastating to try to pull in with a smaller like hand harpoon or something like that. And if you work together in coincidence with the other sailors, you can make an impact on some larger, more devastating creatures. And she seems, her mind sort of boggles at this, and he tries to remind her that, like, oh yeah, but don't worry, we still like the old ways too, as he's twiddling a harpoon in his hands. And you're feel free to speak to her, to intercede and just listen in too, but that's what you come across when you reach this deck.
I think, unless it seems like whatever is like here would be super, that bathroom, I don't know. I just want to, like, Ronnie just wants to know, just like, hey, if shit goes down like it did on the last boat we were on, where is everything? Okay. So knowing that this is where like weapons are stored, that's super useful.
At this point, you probably, knowing Ronnie, you probably did a lot of this last night before bed. You probably wouldn't have shut your eyes before knowing where all the ins and outs of the vessel were and doing a once-over, especially knowing the stowaway situation last time. So just to give you a rundown and what other people would know, this little area towards the bow of the ship is a small kitchen. There's some different sailor hammocks here. These are all just spear guns. And these are some crew quarters that you're probably spending some time in last night as just your bunks, basically. And beside you is just the staircases up and down, and this is a crane to get things down to the lower supply level.
Okay. All right, cool. Can I check out the lower, or can I just know what I know about the lower deck?
Sure. Let's take you down there now, just so you'll get a sense of that as well. And we will. Oopsie doopsie. Here we go. Okay, so we're gonna take you down to the lower level here, and I'm gonna bring the camera up there as well. So on the lower deck, you see Polly and Tavian shooting the shit and chatting, while there's this elderly quartermaster who Polly has sort of usurped the job of, who's just asleep on a pile of potatoes. And Polly is just sort of organizing everything. while a crew member is sort of helping her. He's sort of like just shrugs and is just sort of like, I guess she's our new boss now or something. I don't really know what's going on. You get the sense, just based on everything that's happened, that this voyage was like really hastily thrown together. And so the fact that you've got Polly doing all this extra work just to keep herself mentally sane has really not rubbed anybody the wrong way. The old guy who is typically in charge of it is so feeble that it's likely that she's doing a better job than he would have. So yeah, you see them shooting the shit. They're talking about different recipes right now. Hello?
Oh, sorry. I lost you for a second.
Okay.
The fact that Polly has been doing all this extra work is going over well, not poorly.
Yes, exactly. People are very appreciative of it because Horatio is so frazzled right now. It seems as though anyone who's picking up extra slack is appreciated right now. Things were really hastily thrown together.
Okay. So then, I think the only thing is, without being like obviously Snoopy, like Ronnie wants to know where the statue is.
Okay. So just by looking around, you don't have to look very far. There is a large box right here. And based on the shape of everything else and the fact that it seems to be more secured in the center of things, you get the sense that this is how they have boxed up the statue. And as you were walking around, give me a little investigation check on it.
Okay, sorry. My connection is being a little weird, so I didn't see like a ping. Is it the thing covered in drapes?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, super. Let me know if this doesn't come through. Oh, investigation, my strong suit.
I'm trying to find my...
I got a 13 in case it didn't go through.
Okay. No, it didn't go through. That's weird. It could just be the... Well, I don't know, because if it's an audio thing, I'm not sure. But, Roll20 has been having an issue today. I don't know where my my statue token is right now. Wait, maybe I can just look up statue. No. Nope. Gold. I think your thing just came through. Yeah, it did. Regardless, you get a sense that there is, under this sheet that seems to be tied down, you can't really, you don't feel, comfortable futzing with it right now for whatever reason, just because this guy is in the way.
Mm-hmm.
But this, you do get the sense of, as it walks by, you can peek some glittering gold. It doesn't seem like it is in a full-on box. It seems like it has been strapped onto a small platform that they probably used to hoist it with the ship's crane onto the vessel. So you get the sense that it is under this right there, and you'll probably have a better chance to check it out later should you wish to.
Cool.
Something about the fact that you get a little leery about the fact that there's someone else around. You're not sure if he knows, you're not sure how much you want other people to know. So you're a little bit yeah, you're feeling a little, but you see enough of a glimpse of it and the size of it that you're like, okay, I'm pretty sure that is that.
Then I think Ronnie just sort of heads back up and will try to be helpful using their just large frame to do whatever is not in the way, but helps people not have to do some menial task of moving thing from place to place.
Sure. Okay, so you go back up and you're above a top deck. It seems like nothing in the meantime has really gotten Horatio any calmer. He seems to be still barking orders left and right. Is there anything anyone else, Finn and Wei, is there anything else you would like to do?
Wei is just also kind of looking around, but noticeably keeping out of everybody's way, just kind of weaving and bobbing through the crowd.
Gotcha.
I think cutting back to Finn, she's sort of not on purpose, but accidentally, very quietly, sneakily pops over by where Kel is, and it's just like, wow, those are really pretty fish.
Yeah, I've never seen them before. I thought they were creatures of myth, ancient things. They are beautiful, I have to say.
Oh, does that mean that they taste good too?
You wanna eat them? Look at them. They're so pretty.
Yeah, no, I didn't say I wanted to eat them, just, wondering.
Kind of
You know,
implying.
I bet they do probably taste really, really, really good.
Oh, hey, you remember that weird, glowy thing that we had to walk through?
Oh, that. Yeah. Trying hard to forget, but yeah, I do.
Right. Well, you said that something about how you were worried that you shouldn't have left, and I get that sometimes. But I just wanted to say that I'm happy that you did, and that you're here with us.
Oh,
And, plus, you don't have to make anyone proud but yourself, you know?
oh, friend. I really appreciate that. I wouldn't imagine you feel the same way. You always seem to have your shit so together and like super confident and know exactly what you're doing. And I can't imagine someone like you feeling that kind of way.
I mean, every good performer needs to be humbled a little bit at some point.
How is the fake it till you make it mindset working for you?
Honestly, pretty great. I can't wait to perform again.
I mean, you do a great job. I didn't realize that the performance was covering up deeper stuff, but hey, I mean, I guess that shows I mean, we know a lot about each other by now, but I guess we don't know everything just yet. I'm glad that we're still together. I really am. I feel like that clusterfuck back there on the island actually kind of helped us figure out a little more about each other.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's official now that we have matching tattoos. That's definitely like a friendship thing that people do, right?
I I'll take your word for it. I haven't had too many before, but if this is what having a bunch of really cool friends is like, I'm all for it.
Yeah. Although, I was also thinking about, should we like tell the guild that we're like fucking off? Like, are we fucking off from the guild? Is that a thing that we should do?
I mean, it kind of feels like what we were dispatched to do is what we're still trying to do. I mean, I guess Ronnie's kind of descended to go see what's up, but I assume the statue's on here somewhere, right? And that's still kind of our mission.
Right. Alright, I trust Ronnie to figure that one out.
Also, I guess we hadn't really talked about it, but like at the glowing wall thing, I guess I didn't realize that everyone could hear what was going on. It seems like you and Wei in particular had some pretty deep stuff, and I just want you to know. I mean, I feel like I should be telling this to Wei more than to you, but if you have anything you need to get off your chest, we are here for you guys, and we trust you, and I hope you guys trust us too.
Aw, you're such a nerd. But like the cool kind.
That's a thing. You can be a cool nerd. Holy shit, this is life changing.
I think at that point she's gonna pat him on the back and start walking over
That was plenty.
just nodding approvingly.
Kelkin has never felt cool before. Being told by Finn, the Finn, that he is cool, peak right there.
The Teeth of Hearts?
Now.
No! As soon as you walk towards or I guess away from Kelkan, Finn, you notice that Horatio has stopped shouting at everybody and is staring directly at you. I'd like you to get an insight check to try to understand what's on his mind right now.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Where
sorry.
is my sheet? Insight. I'm good at that.
He has a really weird look on his face, and you don't know. He looks, from what you can tell, he looks like he's angry at you. But before you can
Alright.
get away from him, he approaches you and then sort of like ushers you back in the direction he came from, almost away from Kelken, and is like, "How are you getting on then? They're not giving you any trouble, are they?" And he's sort of like eyeing the other sailors at large.
No. Nope. We've sailed together before, technically. Well, some of us. But, nah, they're fine.
And not your friends. I mean the others, the ones you don't know quite as well. My men.
Oh. I kind of, forgot about them, to be honest. But I guess that's a good thing.
Well, they may not have forgotten about you.
Why?
No, I don't know. I don't know if it's the sort of thing I should be talking out of school about. But, you all slept together in the lower barracks last night, and I don't know. I don't feel comfortable with a young lady such as yourself and our families being, well acquainted and all that. Oh, gods. I think if you'll allow it, and it's agreeable to you, I'd like you to take my cabin, and I can sleep on the floor or whatnot. You can use the bed. It's fine accommodations in there. Nothing untoward, of course. Just as a not a fatherly thing, but an unclely type thing. I just don't want you getting picked on by any of the more unscrupulous men. We didn't have much time to get this ship underway, and I don't know, maybe some Lotharios snuck on, and I just don't want you to be any uncomfortable.
Is this because you're scared of my dad?
Ha 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 ha! He starts to his head, his forehead is like there's like a sweat dripping down his bald head past his temple into his beard, and he's like sort of trying to lick the sweat away near his mustache, and and he's starting to laugh. Make another insight check into him to see if you can perceive exactly what's going on, what his thinking is. So you get that he is definitely worried about something, but you're not sure if it's about your dad or something else.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, I appreciate it. That's very nice of you to offer. But I feel like I would feel safer sleeping around my friends. Plus, I sleep with my knife, so...
Right. That's wise. Many of the men do, too. Well, just consider it. It's a wide open space. There's enough for more than one. No funny business, of course, but if you need a friend to keep you company, maybe that little bird one, keep him out of the way. That would make sense to me too.
I don't know. I feel like if I brought Oz in there, all the kids would follow.
Oh,
Which
God.
could be kind of fun. I
No,
wonder if
no,
they've
keep
ever
those
slept in a
things out
big
of
bed
there.
before.
No, please. Anything but that. I'm fighting a terrible temptation to punt all of them overboard every time I see one of them.
They're not that bad.
Just pick, if you need to pick someone. Not that big one or that other one or the caveman, but suppose that doesn't leave you many choices. Just an option, but there. Just should you need it, a place away.
I will consider it.
All right then. All right, but he's clearly very uncomfortable and is going to step away and start issuing orders so to regain his composure a little bit. And he's going to call out to everybody. All right, you knuckleheads! And that means you, too! He points to you, Kelken, and to you, Oz, and to you, Wei, and Ronnie, and Tuck. And he's going to address uh, he's going to uh, basically start addressing everyone as one large group. And specifically, he's going to try to reconcile what seems to be a disagreement or some annoyance between the crew. And what's also noticeable is that he's also not addressing Finn in this way, almost that like this doesn't apply to her at all. He's clearly giving her special privilege in some weird way. And he's going to address everybody else, and he's going to say, "You all have bought your way aboard this vessel due to an agreement with mine. But on my ship, everybody pulls their weight. There'll be no lollygagging. This isn't some fancy fantasy cruise. I need to see what you're capable of doing. You need to be able to work just as hard as any of my other men. Is that understood?"
Ronnie
Are
sets down whatever large thing they're holding. It's like, yeah.
Like, you can do a thing. I can touch a thing. I was told not to touch anything. I would touch all the things.
You and your children, behave yourselves. Your job is to babysit them. Don't let them do... And he points up to where the two twins are currently having a pretend sword fight on the rigging up by the mainsail, almost in danger of, like, slicing up a... The fight is pretend, but they were using real swords. And they're almost in danger of slicing open a mast. It's like, you stop them from doing whatever it is they're doing. Anything. If they can inhale, but not exhale on my vessel. Is that clear?
I mean, they're practicing their sword fighting. If we run into any trouble, I think we're good.
If we run into any trouble, they'll be shivving us first, I have a feeling.
No, I think I'm good.
For the love of... Lady Barnaby, the Kenku mage, starts singing, "Oh, the children will shiv us, they'll shiv us left and right," and goes back to swabbing the decks happily. "And you, cut all that bloody singing! We're pirates, damn it! This isn't a musical number! Oh, we're pirates, but we don't like singing. Stop it! Stop it, I tell you!" She looks very upset, but it is sort of like trying to hold her breath and hum at the same time while swabbing. But this deck is filthy. The rest of you, let's see how good you are at various tasks aboard this vessel. Why don't you help me out, polish off this deck? I need everybody to grab a mop or a broom and start swabbing the deck. Give me an athletics check to see how good you are at keeping this deck clean.
My athletics sucks. Could I make a case for getting advantage because I can shape water, and that would theoretically make things slightly easier?
Is Shape Water it's a first level spell, right?
It is a cantrip.
Oh, it's a cantrip. And so if you can do that at will, then yeah. You could. You could.
Oh, yeah.
I would say with advantage. I would say that you would not need to do it as an athletics check if you have that ability. So with Shape Water, would you actually be able to scrub things, or at least just move water around the vessel in a cleaning way? Or does it not function that way?
I can instantaneously move and change the flow of it in 5 feet in any direction, I guess, at a time.
So you could
and
actually
make it into shapes and stuff. So I could theoretically like slosh it around.
Yeah, you probably could. I'm gonna say that that does give you an advantage on this. So make an Arcana check with it instead. Ooh,
Thank you.
but that's with advantage, so you'll still be able to do it. Okay, so Oz, you are sort of following Lady Barnaby as she sings, and you start humming along too, and you guys begin to do sort of like a swabbing musical number together, as you are like dancing and whistling and making happy bird sounds, and it becomes this big bombastic thing as the other pirates stop doing their work and clap and watch as you're basically dancing with mops and cleaning the deck, and you can see like it almost feels like literal steam is going to blast from Horatio's ears until he looks at the deck and realizes it's sparkling spotless, and he's like, ugh. Wei, you were so caught up in this that you were doing a really bad job. You're doing that like bad extra in a James Bond movie sweeping where you're not even touching the ground, but you're just sort
Oh,
of
yeah.
like pretending to do it.
It's
And-
well practiced.
yeah, he probably did this at the casino as well. Um, uh, you, Finn, you're actually doing a really good job. You've had to mop the floors before too because of all the bloodshed and puke in the casino, and so you're doing actually a pretty good job of it. But Horatio is not paying attention to you because he doesn't think that he thinks this work is below you, so he's just going to take the mop away from you absent-minded and hand it to someone else and not give you any credit for it. And
Oh.
he's going to walk over to Kelken, and he's going to look at the weird thing he's doing, and he's like trying to get a sense of how it's working, and he sees that like it's getting out this blood stain that's been there for a while. He's like pulling the water out of the wood, and he's like straining the wood somehow with it, and he's like managing to like scrub places that are like difficult underneath things because he can move the water. And he's looking at you with like bewilderment. Ingenious! I never thought magic could be used in such a way. You've got a brain on you, kid, don't you? And you!
I mean,
He points to Finn. Keep these mops out of your hands. Could get splinters or some such. He goes back over to Kelken to like on the negative side. You've got now this guy watching everything you do very closely.
I imagine it looks like really exaggerated water bending. Like I'm just doing these fancy like movements with my arms, and it
Yeah.
just looks ridiculous.
Doing some enchantress stuff. And at this point, he's pretty happy with everyone except for Waylon, who he gives bad marks to. I can tell you're not even trying. I know the song was intoxicating, but try to keep it together. All right, we need people who are good with ropes, and people who are capable of climbing great heights. This isn't a job for those who lily-livered who can't stand heights. So let's practice climbing that rigging, shall ye? So you're gonna practice climbing the mainsail, and in order to do so, we're gonna need Oz or anyone who can try to persuade the warring sword fighting kids to get out of the way because they're still on the main mast right now. Is anyone capable of getting these kids out of the way? Otherwise, they will serve as an obstacle to your climbing.
Way will offer to teach them dwarven swears if they stay out of the way.
Make a persuasion check with advantage.
And they're not going to be actual swears, they're going to be cocktail names.
Okay, they're entranced that they both go ooh and climb down very quickly and like surround you and start pulling at your clothes. At this point, I need you guys all to make let's see, athletics or acrobatics to try to climb the rigging. Just basic checks.
Oh.
Ozzy's little
Well-
bird arms are tired. He's just gonna use levitate.
I love it. As Finn, as you're trying to climb it, you're about to do something really cool, and the captain's just gonna grab you by the waist and put you down and be like, "No, it's too high. You can hurt yourself." And you're just like, "God damn it!
Wait,
Why
you
is
just
this?"
told everyone what?
Everyone below you. You're oh gods, I don't know. Consider yourself the princess of the boat.
Sounds more like the liability, but okay.
You can feel, everyone else can feel the weight of disappointment as Finn crosses her arms and looks sadly away. Okay, so you're able to swing your way up there. Same with, are you using any magic to do this, Kel, or are you just doing it regularly, climbing up?
Just normal athletics, yeah.
Yeah, the rest of you are easily able to swing your way up, and as you are sort of like having a friendly race on your way there, Ronnie getting there a little faster. You also see at the same time, Oz just casually floating up, looking like Oz is like lying back in a hammock, slowly
He's not
floating up.
trying to hide it. He's just kind of friendly, waving at everyone as he passes by.
They certainly do have a way with magic. All right, you're good. Now, while you're up there, I see some of the rigging up there. It looks a little bit unsafe. Why don't you try to tie that up with your best knots? So I'm gonna need some sleight
Okay,
of
touch the
hand check.
ropes.
Yes, touch the ropes, but make them tighter, not looser.
Not survival.
Not for this one. Not for this one. Your time will come. Oh, natural
You
You
20!
didn't need
my
it.
God.
Do not.
As
Oh,
as
okay.
everybody else is accidentally loosening the mainsail from the mast, Ronnie grabs all of the ropes that are like slapping loose from their knots and ties them together in one immaculate, perfectly Boy Scouted knot. And this big, like, immaculate, never before seen, like, trapezoid knot, and it looks like absolutely perfect. It has like little pull strings for easy access of getting the mainsail up and down, and everyone else is like, "Ooh, Ronnie's the only one who passed this," and you can see
Ronnie's just like, it's for snares.
Ozzy may be like loosening them on purpose so he can watch Ronnie tie them.
Whee!
They're just so satisfying to watch them tie that.
Ronnie subtly points to one and winks at Oz. That's like, this one is the one to pull if you want to like undo the whole thing. Don't do
Oz
it now.
gasps and reaches for it.
Don't do it. Nope, not now.
Nope.
Oz has information he shouldn't have.
Ozzy will remember that.
Forbidden knot.
Can we see anything cool while we're up here? Is anything weird out there? We're just in beautiful sailing, learning chores.
So you can make a perception check right now if you would like. Okay, as you were looking around, it does look like, I mean, you can see the islands far in the distance behind you. And you see flocks of seagulls trailing the vessel. And you also see, it looks like the seagulls are swarming down and nibbling on something that's been dropped into the water. So that gets your attention. Do you call out to the captain with this info?
No. I'll wait till I'm down. I don't think it. We tried to chum the water on our past boat, right?
Right, that's correct. To try to get
So
some sharks.
it wouldn't seem that wild to Ronnie, so I don't think they would think it was like something's wrong.
Right.
But I think that when they get down, when we're done proving ourselves at chores, they might be like, is this something that I can help with? You know, we all were like eel hunting on our last vessel kind of thing. But nothing. I don't think they would shout anything down.
All right. So at this point, you don't see any other vessels on the horizon or anything of note. And you know you're still a ways off from your destination, so you don't see anything on the horizon. There's some clouds ahead, but that's about it. Nothing too dangerous in terms of storm or anything like that. Just big cumulonimbuses. And or I'm sorry, cumulus clouds, not cumulonimbuses. And so he's going to call you guys back down, and you can make your way down the way you would like. And then he's sort of taken a liking to Ronnie after how quickly Ronnie climbed up the rigging, and is going to be like, "Oh, fancy yourself a fine seaman, do you? Well, tell me there, Mr. and Miss They Them Bugbear. Which direction are we heading right now?" And he'd like you to make a survival check to get a sense of navigation right there. And anyone else who'd like to join in can try as well.
Ree's like just trying to remember the map, like, I don't know, north fish.
Based on your role, you are not entirely sure right now, but you remembered that you guys made a U-turn going towards the what you remember as the north side of the island, past the past the pirate village when you guys left, but then you went to sleep, and you guys have been doing stuff for the early morning, and the sun is getting to the place in the sky where it's almost entirely overhead at this point in the day after you guys have just been hanging out and doing chores and various things. So it's a little bit hard to tell, but you think it's probably northeast.
Probably northeast.
Aye. We were headed northeast, but now we're making a bit straight east. I was wondering if you could see as to my reasoning, but perhaps not. Perhaps I'm a bit too cagey, even for a wise one like you. Well...
Are we chumming the water, Captain?
Eh? What do you mean?
We dropped something off the ship?
He climbs up to the
moments
back
ago?
of the vessel. You're seeing a cross section of it here, so he's gonna look off the back, where the wheel is, which would be above this part of the ship. Really, his quarters are below, and he sees little bits of bread and potato being dropped in the water. Hey, what the hell are you doing down there? As he looks down, you see two of the kids' hands throwing the food into the water, and they're clearly feeding the gulls to watch them swarm. Hey, stop that! That's our supplies! You see, he rushes downstairs to yell at them. After a few minutes, he comes dragging up two of the kids. Let's see, Buggo and Quig, who are the spiky brown-haired boy and the shaggy blonde-haired kid, and he's got them both by their shirts, their tunics, and you bring them over to Oz. He said, "What did I say about keeping an eye on these ones? They've been trying to feed the birds. Well, you know what I mean, the gulls with our supplies."
I mean, I only have 2 eyes. I can only watch 2 of them at once, I think.
Well, which two are you watching?
Oz just points at Tonka.
Captain, with all due
I'm
respect,
not very good at watching things at once.
you've had us up here on doing deck chores.
All right. Well, just try to impart to these two. Oh, what am I saying? They're going to do what they're going to do, but we need food to live, okay? He looks to them, and they both smile like they haven't done anything wrong.
Yeah. Okay. Can Ronnie squat down very apprehensively because they're so anxious about how this went with Tavian? And be like, the birds are pretty cool. It would be really, and they drop their voice a little, really important if you two could keep a lookout and just make sure nothing sneaks up on us. Do you think you could do that?
Make a persuasion check. They both immediately look at each other
Ronnie over.
and look at you, and each one stomps on one of your feet, and then they run in opposite directions.
Yeah, I thought that might happen.
I have a fun idea of something I could get them to do.
That would be great. Ronnie sort of hulks down on their butt.
Do you have any, old fishing rods you don't mind if they accidentally throw in the water? We could get them to go fishing and tell them they could feed the birds with that. And this bird, too.
Don't mind if they throw in the water. What do you mean by that?
I mean, it happens. Sometimes you
Older,
get
broken
distracted,
thing.
you let go, and it flies off into the distance, and you never see it again.
If I give them one thing, they're gonna throw it in the water, aren't they? They already seem to be taking spears from the side of some of the spear guns and just throwing them happily into the water. No! Stop it! Oh, God! He runs over and grabs her hands.
could, like, just bolt the end of it to the deck? No, I don't know how ships work.
All right. You kids like spears, huh? And they both nod. And you like birds, huh? And they both nod. Here, let me teach you how to do this. And he he
Oz is sensing danger.
he points the crew members towards some of the spear guns at the side and has the first mate cut the wheel so that the flock of seagulls is at the side of the vessel, and he gets a couple of the he calls down to Polly to bring up some potatoes and some slices and some seed and to throw it into the water, and he says, there, you want to make yourself useful then, whoever whoever shoots the most birds decides, I know, whoever shoots the most birds doesn't have to watch the kids. That ought to motivate you.
Oz is standing at the captain's feet,
Captain.
just staring up at him.
Oh, that's
Not
good.
No
this
words,
one.
just
Not
staring.
not this bird, the little seagulls. Someone
Enter.
throws a harpoon near Oz. No, what did I just say?
Maybe they could help Polly. Obviously, they weren't helping Polly. I don't know. I don't know what they want.
The kids seem to be very excited about the prospect of shooting birds with spears.
Captain, why? Okay, fine. If they're doing that, are we off course? Are we still going east? Is that important?
Oh, fine, you're right. All right. Fine. We won't shoot any birds. We won't go off course. But someone really needs to take care of these kids. Not just let them run
Will not
wild.
shoot any birds.
All right, kids, gather around. It's time for dwarven swears.
Yay!
Waylon will find a spot probably in the middle deck where it's empty, and we'll do like one big circle, and he'll just he'll do telephone with the kids where he'll whisper it into one kid's ear. And again, not a real swear. It's just random whatever words that's hilarious to him, and they get to tell each other.
Right. So
So good.
these kids love this. The idea that they're learning shit they shouldn't be supposed to, and you actually have become something of a school teacher to them, and they start asking you, they start opening up to you over the course of a few hours and asking you questions about how the swears can be used in social conversations.
And Waylon's just, of course, they're very secret. You can't let anyone know about these swears. And I didn't tell you. It uses a random dwarven word, like cheese. Got it? Looks at all of them, points.
They all nod and giggle like they're immediately going to go back on this. Also, at some point, Astrid has joined in to try to listen, and after she started correcting you in the beginning, eventually caught on and starts helping you out. After a while, she gets bored and goes into the quarters to do something, and one of the spies is just standing nearby, or not, what do you call it? The sorry,
Lookouts?
Yes, but the reason I said spy specifically is because the here I'll bring you down to the it's not super important, but in the pirate village they are a battler class known as a spy. Oh no, it's not the spy. Yeah,
Because they're spying on us. Matt doesn't want us to realize.
Oh
Yeah.
no.
I think they were in the. I brought those above game. I brought those tokens out to represent the guys you were talking to at the lookout post like many weeks ago.
Oh, they were so creepy.
But right now on the middle deck, it is these two guys, Astrid, and an under captain, I guess, of the ship too. So you guys are leading the kids. We don't have kids tokens, but they're all down there. The spy, the bard, the, I guess, pirate captain token, and those. That's not like necessarily what their ranks are, but that's just what their tokens are for reference. And so that goes on for a bit. You guys help out with the chores, having a better sense of what it takes to be a pirate. But really, the ship is working as a well-oiled machine with just a few extra hands on deck, helping. Everything gets going. The captain is a lot happier now that someone is actually looking after the kids. So no birds were harmed in the making of this episode, except maybe Oz's feelings at the notion of having to shoot birds. And this also gives Finn a little bit of extra time out of the captain's watchful eye to chill out and relax and chit chat with people too, because he was getting a little bit oppressive there for a while. As the sun begins to set, Tuck is going to approach Finn as he sees her leaning against the railing, and is going to sort of talk to her momentarily, sort of like picking up on their conversation from before. And he's going to be like, "Oh, pretty sky, yes?" Hmm?
She just doesn't respond.
No
No
response.
words.
Oh shit! Sorry.
She's flabbergasted by his beautiful romantic statement.
Oh,
Very
yep.
spoons.
Sky looks nice.
Sometimes, girl pretty too, yes?
Most of the time, yeah.
How you make girl like Tuck?
Well, I think a more important question to ask Tuck is what kind of girl does Tuck like?
Tuck think he like mean girl, but mean girl no like Tuck. So Tuck not know.
Okay. So, someone who can take care of themselves then, right? That's important. That's fair.
Yes. Strong, good. Good at racing dino.
Yes. Right, dinosaurs. Well, I don't know about the dino part, about where we're going, but I'm sure there's plenty of tough ladies in Jarek Spawn.
But also other thing with head thinking. Because Tuck not always that. Need help.
Need help
With this. He points to his head.
with your head?
Yeah. Sometimes me good at lift rock, but not good at lift brain.
Oh, okay. Well, that kind of comes with practice, but I guess, just finding someone who's on your level is a good idea.
Tuck dinosaur.
What?
Dinosaur smart and strong. Maybe Tonka, Tuck's girl?
No. No. Tonka is a pet. Those are different things.
What about that thing? That, like, bird and person. He points to Lady Barnaby.
I mean, she's cute. You can try. It'll
Okay!
at the
He goes
very
up to
least.
her immediately.
Oh boy.
You new girlfriend, yeah?
No.
At least he's direct.
She squawks in surprise, and then takes a step away from him and starts singing about her situation. Oh, is this ingenue the choice of that cave dwarf? What shall happen to me? Is this my life to live in a cave? Don't I deserve something more? And she begins to, like, slide along the banisters. And Tuck scratches his head confused. He goes back to her. No, you all wrong about that. She crazy. She's still singing over here, by the way. True love, it's what I find when I'm alone on the inside. Oh, how I long for one true love to find me. She's like steering the boat inappropriately. And the captain is like has to stop her. Me not sure.
Yeah. I'm not sure either. Listen, how about the plan, right? The plan is gonna be that Tuck practices his brain lifting,
Nah.
and then if he finds a lady he likes, then he can try again.
No. Tuck not good brain lift. Tuck good rock lift. Tuck need lady good brain lift to lift Tuck brain.
Okay. So you want a smart and a strong lady.
Wait a minute. You smart. You strong. Maybe
I'm
Tuck
not
marry
strong.
you.
No, I'm not strong. She like holds up her like noodle arms.
Sure you are. Carry this. And he hands you a bunch of harpoons all at once.
Oh god. Do I need to make
make an
strength?
athletics check to see if you can hold them.
Ah, yeah.
You're kind of struggling, but you actually do manage to get. It's like, oh, whoa, very strong.
Honestly, I'm kind of surprised myself.
Ah, buff lady, me like. Starts kissing his own muscles.
Okay. Yeah, no, thank you, Tuck. I am so happy to be your what's it called? I guess matchmaker, if you know. But I am not interested in that proposition.
Who else then? That one. He points to Ronnie. That's strong and think good.
Ronnie is very strong and thinks good.
Okay.
There's a
He
mischievous
goes
part of
over
Finn
to
who's-
Ronnie.
Ronnie is doing chores.
Hello.
Oh. Hi, Tuck.
We, you and me, I'm scared. Goodbye now. He runs away and goes. He runs downstairs really quick, sort of giggling
It's
and
like-
blushing.
Good talk. Good talk, Tuck. He looks at Finn and shrugs. And keeps swabbing the deck or whatever they were doing. Okay. Is he gonna be okay? He doesn't. We're not going to a place with dinosaurs, and I don't. Are we keeping him forever?
I don't know. I don't know an answer to either of those questions. I feel like he's really caught up on this lady thing, and like maybe it's just a phase, but
I'm
tried.
not worried about the pirate kids. I feel like they'll be fine with whatever they land on.
Yeah.
That one, I'm not sure.
I guess we'll have to feel it out when we hit Jarek spawn. I'm not really sure.
It's
Okay.
hard to be a lady in love. Lady in love.
Oh, are you in love, Lady Beatrice? I forgot her name. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you're not even sure if you ever really formally met her.
Lady Barnaby, are you in love?
In love? Me? Another suitor? Oh! She also runs downstairs.
I don't know if that's okay. All right. Well,
Yep, ship full of weirdos.
Several people getting. I feel like I'm getting confusing messages, and I just don't actually understand what any of them are. And I think they're all in the middle of other people's conversations.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Way, you see both Tuck followed by Lady Barnaby running downstairs, both looking. When Tuck looks completely beat red and runs into the center of the kids and sits down next to you guys as if he was always there, trying to fit in. And Lady Barnaby comes down singing, and it's just like, and like loudly keeps walking and singing down to the next floor. Uh, it's very confusing what's going on. The kids all sort of like look at each other and are like quiet for a sec, but then they all start loudly singing random songs, and it becomes this big discordant mess. They're all singing about being pirates, just random sea shanties that they've heard. Uh, and it becomes very difficult to get them back on track at that point.
Back on
Yeah.
track for fake squares.
Who needs swearing when you can sing, honestly?
Are you suggesting they're equally offensive? You don't know if Ronnie is joking.
I mean, to some people, I guess. I don't know.
Combine them both. Sing your swears. Even better that way.
A good body limerick, I'm always a fan. Oh, you should have met Finn's dad. He hates singing. I think he'd be less offended by it.
Yeah, that might lighten the the opinion a bit.
So as night begins to fall, you guys are starting to get tired, and you have a nice little supper. Polly is sort of taken over that as well, and Tavian is sort of also taking charge in the kitchen. So you guys have a nice meal, and unless there's anything else you'd like to do RP wise, you guys are ready to go to bed. Is there anything else anyone would like to do in the meantime? Okay.
I don't think so. Not for Ronnie.
And Finn, are you going to take the captain's offer of sleeping upstairs, or are you going to sleep with everybody else in the barracks?
Finn's gonna sleep in the barracks.
Okay. And
Ozzy has pushed 2 beds together for him and Tonka to sleep together.
Tonka doesn't fully understand and sleeps diagonally across them both, making it very hard to get a space in, like a Marmaduke type dog.
But I imagine Oz just like on top of Tonka anyway.
Yeah,
that
surrounded by water skins.
And a knife.
2 knives.
Slowly poking the water skins.
So yeah, you guys are all sort of cozied up in the barracks now. Not everyone has gone to sleep yet. Some people are staying out on watch. You see specifically Tuck and some of the Astrid and some of the other pirates are all sort of shooting the shit and sort of playing cards together, just absent-mindedly talking. Now Tuck seems to be unpacking all his big thoughts about love that he just learned from Finn. And now that he's not aggressively hitting on Astrid, he seems to be having a better conversation with her, as they're all just sort of... Astrid seems to just in general have let her guard down and seems to be engaging with him a little bit about these conversations about love and romance. And he's being honest. He's like, me think you good girlfriend, but you don't like me at all. You hate me. And she starts laughing. She's like, yeah, I really do. The kids, Waylon, you have shown the kids where they'll be sleeping, which they've sort of already found for the night before, but these sort of hammocks over here, extra crewmen's quarters, and they all just sort of sleep on a big pile together as they're sort of used to in their.
Hey, sure, the
Puppy.
screen's black on
Okay,
stream. The
let me bring you down to the correct floor. There we go. We had no cameraman up there basically, so it was black. So I just brought us down here. So we're all in the middle deck, and do we still have music going? Is it still going?
That's a
it's
good
really
question.
faint. I thought I heard
It
it.
says it's playing something. It's just very quiet, maybe.
Maybe
Yeah, I think it's just low.
The music is playing. It's just super quiet.
what do we do next? Oh yeah, I hear it. It's just really low. Okay. Anyway, so you guys are all this group of like NPCs is sort of hanging out, and I believe at this point um Tavian and Polly and Lady Barnaby would also be up there too, and sort of hanging out. It seems like Tavian doesn't really want to leave Polly's side. He's sort of like assigned himself as like her little brother, so to speak. They're sort of a duo now, and she sort of watches out for him, and it's just something that you guys have noticed. And their skills sort of work together too, as she's in charge of all the cargo, and he's in charge. He just sort of makes himself the chef, wherever he's at. And so now even Lady Barnaby is getting involved in their conversation about love as they play cards, and is sort of like singing and trying to write songs about the different situations of all the pirates talk about. One of the pirates is talking about like a former lover at a port he hasn't been able to return to, and Lady Barnaby is singing a song about how hard it is to be estranged from your lover. Um, and everyone is sort of like uh, taking this to heart as she's singing quietly. It's almost like a lullaby. The kids are falling asleep. And so yeah, you guys are able to like close one of the doors and have some time to yourself in sort of a Walton's fashion, all sleeping within earshot of each other in a nice little room. Um, yeah, and you can say goodnight to each other uh, now, if you would like, or stay up and chat. Up to you guys.
It does feel good to be back in an actual bed. After sleeping in a cave for so many days, this is comfortable. I could get used to this.
No, I was pretty comfy in that cave.
I think, Oz, you are a pillow and a blanket in and of yourself. So I feel like you'd be comfortable everywhere.
I also kind of miss that chest. I filled it with the water skins. It was pretty comfy.
You don't lug them around still? Yeah, your personal waterbed?
I mean, I tried to put them on this bed, but they kept falling off, so I just kind of put them around like a little wall, so Tonka doesn't fall off.
Oh, it's like a nest.
I mean, Finn has a bunch of like ribbons and stuff. Maybe we can fashion you like a little sling of just water skins so you can carry it around with you no matter where you go.
Oh yeah, like a hammock.
Exactly.
I've just been shoving those down my shirt.
That also works, but not for stealth.
They're very heavy, but they're good at keeping the temperature constant, so I think it's okay.
Yeah, I mean, Horatio offered me his room, but like he's been kind of paranoid, so I feel safer in here.
I mean, I was gonna say he treats you like a princess, but he literally called you the princess of this boat.
Yeah, I mean, I
Could
don't
we,
mind it.
could we be bowing to you, Your Majesty?
Again, I wouldn't mind it.
Queen of the show.
It'd be fun. He's not letting you climb and touch things.
That's okay. My nails could use a break anyway.
Do you feel close to Horatio at all? I know he knew your family, but is it kind of weird seeing him again?
I don't remember the first time I saw him. I guess I was like a super little kid or something. So it's kind of weird that someone I don't really recognize knows me, apparently.
I mean, yeah, I mean, at least he seems to be treating us pretty well. I don't mind getting preferential treatment by way of knowing you. You know, this is pretty comfy.
I'm glad I could be of service.
I'm imagining Ronnie is maybe pretending to sleep with one eye open, listening to this.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think they're not sure now that they're not on the island, like quite how they're supposed to be.
Is there
So they're
any
feeling included. They feel nice, but they also don't know like what to do. Other people are leading stuff. We're just helping, and they're feeling like, okay, back into the how things were before, which is like I get brought along to hit things and be strong, and that's what I do.
uh as you hear the others talking, uh you you feel those thoughts sort of overtaking you a little bit, and eventually you drift off into slumber along with everybody else. And you're not sure if it is a rocking in the water or some other force, with either internal or external. Uh, but you begin to have a very strange consciousness wash over you. Ronnie specifically, you awaken and you're in a darkened world, an entire world of shadows and swirling fog. Um, you immediately feel on guard because there doesn't seem to be any entrances or exits, but it definitely feels like you are enclosed within a place. You're not out in the wild, you're not free.
Uh, am I armed, clothed? Like, can I perceive anything?
You have your axe, you have everything that you had with you before. Your main affects are with you.
Can I see any? Can I? I feel like it's enclosed. Can I see anything?
You see swirling fog, smoke, and if as you move forward, it just sort of like evaporates and whirls around you into more of the same, more darkness, grays swirling along with black and some purple, but no tangible tactile senses anywhere. It feels like a void.
Can I, after becoming more aware of Fabian and the Godkin, and even just having had that moment of like, non-responsive prayer, but to the storm god or what his name was, um, can they sort of sit down, crisscross applesauce, and sort of try to be like, feel if this is anything to do with the types of energy they feel associated with their spell casting.
As you start to kneel down to sit down, you feel a presence, a large, booming face a few feet behind your head. You can feel the heat from their breath on the fur on the back of your head. And it begins speaking in a familiar voice. The booming, now larger than life magically amplified voice of your mentor Gideon, speaking in a way that it is clearly Gideon's voice, but it is not Gideon's. Lacks his warmth of tone. You feel an authoritative quality to it. And the first words you hear from him are, "A hero must be brave and true. Are you giving up already, Ronnie?"
Ronnie sort of brushes, I guess, like himself off a little and stands and turns to face the face. Can I see it now?
You see Gideon, and Gideon looks older than you've ever seen him look. Completely white hair, weathered face, sunken eyes. Almost like a god themselves, in a way that a traditionalist might depict a god in a painting or in a vision, and begins to even though you cannot see more than Gideon's giant head basically floating autonomously before you, a giant scroll appears and unfurls before Gideon, and a handless quill begins writing as if grading you and checking your performance. "A hero must protect the weak, even at their own expense." His eyes look over you, almost peering into your soul, trying to see if these words are reaching you. "There are no shades of gray, Ronnie. You must only do right and prevent wrong."
I think unintentionally Ronnie crosses their arms sort of defensively. It's good to see you too.
This is no time for jokes. You must heed my words, or you will die. You will die, and no one will remember your name. Your words and your actions will be for nothing. You must remember, a hero acts following the lessons of old. A hero does not stop to whine or philosophize. Have you no response?
They're taking a bunch of like deep breaths and trying to sort of do like counting exercises.
You behave as if you are a child. I suppose that is why you simply listen. You only speak when spoken to. A child always obeys their master.
Who are you?
As you ask that, you hear some fizzling sound, smoke emanating from behind you, and you turn to see too close to you, within a few feet, apparating from the darkness, a shadowy lizard folk warlock.
I jump at them and just try to grapple them.
They are able to either through a misty step or similar spell, able to step backwards, and hissing at you now from the side, say, "You are no hero. You serve no master but your own wishes. You are a child." And
Who are you?
they open up their cloak, and an imp emerges. And as the imp emerges, they fire an eldritch blast in your direction.
I tried to not be hit by it.
Make an
Do like a cool roll to the side.
sure, make an athletics check. You easily dodge out of the way of both the blast and the
then
imp.
as I come up, I want to start running back towards them again. Who are you? Try to grapple them
as you get almost within arm's reach of them, I guess double the normal reach of a normal person's arms, you swipe at them and your hand
Anime
passes
running.
through them. They are just an ethereal smoke cloud now. And then you see where there was nothing, suddenly there is a jet black wooden wall, and an arrow whizzes by your ear. You can feel the feathers on its end tickling the tufts of fuzz on the end of your ear, and hit the wall in front of you. You get the sense that this was a warning shot. You turn and see a large female half-orc ranger standing at a distance, a little bit above you, still in the darkness, still encased in these shadows. She aims, and standing beside her is a boar, which looks like it is prepped to attack. She points the arrow directly at your head, aiming for a kill.
What do you want?
I have been sent to tell you, you are neither a part of the wilds or civilization. That means you have no true home. She fires another arrow.
At my head?
Yeah.
I tried to not be hit by it.
Okay, roll again. You easily dodge out of the way. The boar comes whizzing by you and turns into a puff of smoke. And then you begin to hear this strange, lilting melody. And as you turn, you see a long-bearded dwarven bard. The female half-orc ranger is no longer there, but you see a bard playing an instrument and singing a song. You have no song. You have no song. Who will sing of your triumphs if you refuse to sing along? You can feel the notes swarming and swimming inside your skull. The haunting melody begins to infiltrate your mind. Make a wisdom constitution save to try to prevent them from harming you.
What's a wisdom constitution
Or I'm
save?
sorry, a wisdom save.
Damn it.
The notes begin to make you feel deeply anxious. Your heart is pounding in your chest now.
I don't need a song.
As you say this, he disappears, and suddenly another lyrical voice appears. You see emerging from a wave, almost like Nautilus, a giant wave crashes in front of you, and you see a beautiful ethereal sea elf sorceress emerge from the water. She says, "You will never find peace with nature, for it is your nature to crave violence." The waters begin to swarm around her and rush towards you.
Don't crave violence.
How will you respond as the waters move towards you?
I try to learn. I've become aware of myself, like getting panicky and freaked out. I try to calm down and try to like remember Kip's lessons.
Oh, yeah. Your surfing lessons.
And
Yeah.
I don't obviously have like a surfboard, but just about like how to be in the water and not
Right.
panic and not
Right.
let my size become like my own enemy.
All right.
And just try to be steady in the water.
You're going to do like basically a buoyancy test to try to be the board yourself. You're basically going to boogie board with your body against this wave as it crushes towards you. And so you're going to make a con check with advantage because of your surfing ability.
Con save?
Yes, con save. With advantage. Nice! Okay, with that 25, the waves crush right forward for you and pick your feet up from out from under you. You tilt forward, and so you get some water spray on your face, but you're able to roll with the waves as they twist you around. And it feels for a second like you might go down a drain, but instead the water drains around you, carries you a few yards away, and you find yourself on your back, laying on what it feels like wet morning dewdrop grass. You feel strangely at peace despite all of these uh, odd, harassing statements from these strange figures. Above you, you see a bright light as you are looking up. You're basically prone on your back, looking up, and you see a shimmering light, an angelic light from the heavens, beaming down towards you. And as it gets closer to yourself, you see what looks to be a a golden winged Azamar paladin floating down and landing before you. The paladin addresses you and asks in a kindly voice, "How can you lead when you do not believe in yourself? Who will follow a creature without charm, without charisma?" With that, he pounds his giant shield, boom, into the ground in front of you and rushes towards you.
I think Ronnie says, "I didn't ask to be followed," and just sort of tries to brace for this attack.
Okay, make another con save. You hold tight with all of your might, and you can still feel the impact when suddenly
Who are you?
you awaken back in your bunk aboard the ship. Your friends are there, seemingly snoring peacefully, and you've awoken with a start. You still feel the pain of the melody in your head, these taunting cries, this treatment of you like a child who needs to be taught down to, these people who seem to know you better than you know yourself, and yet it didn't seem like their words were correct. They know an idea, not you. And that frustration of that space in between the knowing and the perception that they know, but what they know is a falsehood.
I think Ronnie probably tries to quietly get up and go up for some air on the deck.
You get up and you head towards the deck, and you soak in a brief moment of reprieve. It's quiet up there. There's no sign of any attack. And on that note, we're going to take our 5-minute break real quick. So we will be back, and we're going to see what else is happening inside the minds of our fair heroes as they go down to rest for the evening. So we'll be back, let's say at 8 minutes after, let's say 9 minutes after the hour, and everyone get a chance to use the restroom and grab yourself a bevy and all that good stuff. We will be right back. now. Okay, we are back. So Ronnie is taking a moment at the top of the top deck, and after a while, um, Ronnie, how do you think you would respond after that dream?
What time-ish is it?
You're not really sure. It's pitch black out. You get the sense that you've probably been asleep for like 3 to 4 hours. It's probably not early yet. It's still in the middle of the night.
Okay. Um, I think that they would probably hang on the upper deck for a while. I imagine that there's someone up still doing stuff,
Yeah,
just in the way that like not everyone can be asleep, and they might offer to relieve somebody if it's something that they're capable of doing. It's like, hey, keep watch for a while. Like, I'll take your shift early, kind of thing.
yeah. There's a you see a person up in the crow's nest, and you're able to climb up. One of the sailors is up there, looking kind of weary-eyed. You're able to relieve them of duty, and now that you're like newly awake, even though you got thoughts in your head, it looks like it's clear sailing anyway. Um, but you're able to take their watch for them for a little while. So you'll be able to stay up there for a couple more hours probably until their normal shift would come to an end, and then you'll be able to get a little bit more shut eye after that. Does that make sense?
Makes sense. I don't know if they feel sleepy or good about going to sleep right now, but that makes sense.
Right. Yeah, exactly. I don't know how comfy they would be in that circumstance, but I'm just going to put you up here on the top deck for now.
I don't think that they have sort of the background or like knowledge to do much of like, ooh, would I know like who these people are or anything, like unless you think that like Ronnie really would know who they are. I don't think that they would be like, let me think about like, well, everything I know about Asimar.
Well, that's up to you to decide how you want to respond to that, because I think it could go either way. Um, so when you're thinking about that dream and everything that just happened, what sticks out to you, if anything?
I think the thing that bugs Ronnie the most is how unlike Gideon seemed, like speaking in such absolutes and being cruel. Um, they have their issues, but I don't. But as that continued, they were just like, "This doesn't make sense. This isn't how you talk to me." Um, and then seemed like, who are these people? I mean, I'm pretty sure like Ree understands what's happening, but I'm not sure if Ronnie is sort of too upset about it to get to the conclusion, or if they're sort of mulling over like what these people could mean. I don't know. Does like shout? I could roll for it.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. If it's up in the air like that, I think like, because I could see it going either way too. Maybe make a uh, a wisdom save to see if you can push through the anxiety of the feelings to try to come to some more logical conclusion. All
No,
right, so
just upset. Like,
it's still upsetting you. You felt tormented. Everything, Gideon seemed fake and wrong. He seemed like a weirdly like cartoonish, wrong, frustrating version of himself, and that's the thing that's eating you up. You don't care what the other things were. They just felt like they were tormenting you. And so with that, you're going to try to keep your eyes on the horizon but it is unmercifully empty, and so you're left alone with your thoughts for
Yeah.
the time being.
And I think rather than really dive into this and explore it very well, I think that they're focused sort of as they were at some points in the dream of being like, center yourself, though that was a dream. Like, stay focused. You're doing fine.
Right. And you can slowly actually use Gideon's teachings on meditation and being one with your surroundings to calm yourself down slowly but surely. It takes a while to get out of it. But after an hour or so of deep breathing and focusing, you're able to have a better grasp on just maintaining where you're at. And eventually someone will come and relieve you after a while when you're up there.
Cool.
So now we're going to travel back down into the cabin below. And we're gonna visit in with Oz, who's currently curled up with Tonka on his bed. And Oz, as you were sleeping, you feel Tonka's like little ridges on the side of his belly are sort of like uh gently rubbing against your beak a little bit. Um, and it feels kind of like being bonked gently with uh, a pineapple rind. Um, and as you're falling into a state of slumber, you find yourself waking up, and when you look around, you appear to be back on the island. You're in a jungle clearing. It looks like you're not too far from where the lookout post was, where you left Tavian that one time where you first guys rescued the baby Triceratops, and you uh, you appear as you look back behind you. It seems like you have been resting atop this pile of fruit rinds and uh some of them have been half eaten and some haven't been. But as you look around, you see that the birds are chirping in the trees. There's little lizards climbing around. You see a few smaller dinosaurs rushing by and heading out into the brush, just sort of racing one another. Um, it seems like things are relatively safe and at peace. You don't see anybody else, but you do see some rustling in the bush ahead of you, and you think you see the end of Tonka's tail sticking out of the bush.
Oh, how did I get here? I must have ate too many snacks and took a nap. Uh, Oz shimmies off and kind of waddles towards Tonka, or at least what he perceives as Tonka.
The tail seems to be wagging back and forth lackadaisically. Um, you can't see the rest of Tonka's body, just the tail sticking from the bush.
Well, come here, you big old dino. I'm gonna catch that tail. And Oz tries to jump and hold on to the tail.
As you grab onto the tail is strong enough that it picks you up and it keeps wagging back and forth, and your feet are off the ground a little bit. Um, but he does not emerge. He's still just hanging on, doing whatever he's doing, either munching or snoozing in this bush with his tail sticking out.
Oh, Tonka, not so fast. I can't hold on. And Oz is gonna try to crawl his way up onto this, whatever it is, his back.
As you crawl on top of it, you feel like you were on Tonka's back, but you're also on top of this bush. And when you get to the other side of it, where you expect to see his face, you just see another tail. Like he's sticking out his tail on this side now, too.
He must have moved fast. Okay, I'll get to this side. And Oz tries to climb back over the other way.
He climbs back over to the other side and he sees the same thing. The tail is just sticking out of the bush once more.
Honker, you got fast. There's some bananas around here. Oz is going to attempt this a few more times. Oz is dream logic right now.
Oz continues attempting to see the tail from other angles. You try to find the front of Tonka, but all you can see is whenever he moves through the brush to the other side, whether he's on top of it or to the side of it, the tail is sticking out right in front of him. He can't find Tonka's face for the life of him.
Oz, just at like the apex of the tail, just kind of takes a moment to just lay on it, his little arms sticking out, kind of catching his breath, like, "Oh, Tonka, you need to move faster like this more times. Can't find your head. I need to give you pats."
The Tonka or the tail sort of shivers a little bit and shudders, and Oz, you fall off of it.
Does Oz hit the ground, or is this a falling nightmare now?
No, you fall right on your butt, or you can fall on your feet. Depending if you want to roll for it, you can, or just choose. It's not super important, but
Oz was catching his breath. He just falls.
it plops on the ground. Oof. Uh, at this point, it's getting a little concerning that Tonka is not responding in a Tonka-esque way, or at least not having a face in a Tonka-esque way.
Tonka, are you okay there, buddy? Where's your little feet? I can't see your little feet anymore. You're stuck in a hole?
The Tonka tail shivers.
Oh, okay, it's okay, buddy. I'll get you out. And Oz starts digging at the ground.
As you dig and you dig. Make a sleight of hand check for how good your digging is. Okay. All right. So you're having a really hard time with the digging, but even so, the ground begins to crumble beneath you, and uh, now Tonka and the bush have fallen into a sinkhole, and now it's just a hole in the ground, and the only thing that's sticking out is Tonka's tail. The rest of it
Oz
has
is looking around
collapsed.
like, oh, okay. Oh, no, no. Okay, I'm going in there, Tonka. And Oz will dive into the sinkhole.
Okay, as you get into the sinkhole, uh, it collapses around you, and you fall past the tail, and you find yourself in this underground area that's not quite like the Underdark. It looks just like an empty, vacuous cave. And uh, you find yourself starting to fall in slow motion in that dreamlike way where you're sort of wily coyoteing, realizing you're about to fall. And you look up for something to grab onto, or perhaps to just see if this is a good chance to cast a levitate. And as you look up, you now see Tonka's tail sticking out towards you again, as if you should grab onto that.
Uh, Oswald, flapping his little wings, makes like a mad claw for Tonka's tail.
As you pull on the tail, you can feel some of its strength, but then you feel it begin to give. And the tail slowly begins to, like the tail on your own costume, rip off. And
Oh, oh, Tonka!
you begin to fall, and you realize this isn't Tonka's true tail, and you're falling, clutching onto this cloth tail. It used to be real, but now it's just this piece of cloth. It looks like a stuffed animal tail of Tonka. And as you're falling, the figure, whoever this was attached to, turns and looks down at you. And you see their eyes glimmering in the darkness. And they look weirdly familiar. But
Oswald, in the dream mode, where his second feels like an eternity, goes through the emotions of, oh, good, I didn't rip this off of Tonka, to, oh, wait, no, I'm falling to,
wait, what was that third one?
oh, who's that?
Sad.
Who's that?
So you're plummeting, and you eventually fall on your butt again. And then from above, from where the hole was, you see the figure descend. And you can see lights hitting you like a spotlight. You are on the ground on your bum, holding onto this cloth tail, and this figure slowly emerges into the light and walks towards you. And you immediately recognize it as yourself. And it looks you very seriously in the eye, leans over towards you, and says, I want a dog.
Oh, no, right? I think we're in a hole.
It clears its throat and leans in closer to you. I want a dog.
I know. We're gonna get a dog.
You feel a gentle tap on your shoulder.
Oh God.
Oz looks over his shoulder.
You see another figure about the same height, but it doesn't look like you. It looks like it's wearing a mask, and the mask looks like it's of pug.
Oh, who's that? Oz looks over to the copy of himself.
The copy of yourself is still staring at you sternly, and then points to the masked pug figure. And the pug figure says, I want a dog.
I don't think that's a dog. Is it a dog? What is a dog?
From the nearby brush, you hear something rumbling. Suddenly, the ground around you begins to erupt and grow and becomes a forest once more, like above ground, but still filled with darkness. Arrows and vines and roots shoot overhead, and you see high above in a tree, in a black cloaked plague doctor's mask, you see another small figure who says, I want a dog.
Oh, that's a spooky mask.
Suddenly, everywhere you turn, what once were trees are now hundreds of Oswalthians, now thousands, spreading back miles and miles and miles. The jungle is just a jungle of Oz's. And you're in a hollow room, like the emptiness of a tree. And endlessly spreading outward, there are all these Oz's, and in a booming, relentless echo, they state, I want a dog!
Oz is just like slowly turning around, looking at us, and like, oh no, I don't think I can afford to buy that much food for dogs. We can't all get a dog.
They look displeased. Then, from the hole in the ceiling above you, you hear a woman shrieking, shouting, Silraven! At that point, you see passing above you what looks to be the shadow of a massive green dragon, and a cloud of poison breath hits all of the Oswalthians, and the dragon begins to carry the woman away. And there, as the Oswalds all cough and are choked by this poison cloud, it begins to close in around you. That's when you suddenly awaken to find Tonka licking your face, making a little concerned noise.
Oswald wakes up, very startled. Uh, Tonka? Tonka, are you a dragon?
Hmm? He tilts his head and then begins to lick your cheek.
Oz is not quite sure if he's terrified or very excited to see a dragon.
Tonka, now realizing that you're okay and that you're no longer sort of like tossing and turning, cuddles up next to you again, big and heavy though he is, almost tipping one of the beds up in the air, but because of the way he's sleeping between them. Are you going to stay up for a bit and think about it? Or are you going to try to head back to sleep?
Oz is going to stay up and tell Tonka all about the dream he had.
Tonka happily listens and is out like a light in a few moments as you regale the story to him. And what is there anything that particularly sticks out to Oz in the story? And did it frighten Oz, or was Oz sort of obliviousness able to mask him from any
Oz,
fear?
Oz went through quite the range of emotions. He definitely does not like falling or being in a hole. But
Gotcha.
Oz sees himself as friends, so if Oz sees another Oz, then Oz is happy.
Yeah, makes sense. As you eventually tell Tonka the tale and Tonka falls asleep, do you think you'd be able to get back to sleep after that?
I am gonna roll wisdom here, see if Oz is too excited to fall asleep or not.
Sure.
Oh no,
Okay.
he's out.
Eventually, after telling
Oz
Tonka the
falls
tale,
asleep mid-story.
yeah, yeah. You eventually fall asleep. Tonka's warm breath and the coziness of the situation take you away far from dreams like that to your normal sets of dreams, whatever those may be, but nothing so strange and odd. Um, at this point, I believe Ronnie's still probably on lookout duty. This probably happens as Ronnie's still up there. At this point, we're going to go across the room, and we are going to peek inside the very populated and busy head of Waylon slash Darv. So, Way, as you're falling asleep, what are you thinking about?
Waylon has hatched an idea after playing this game with the children of Tom Sawyering them into doing all of his chores.
Sure,
So he's
sure.
kind of just plotting and planning of how he can, because it has to be a slow process. So he has to do it just right.
Just right.
You know? He can't just make them start swabbing the deck. And if Horatio catches on, he's gonna spill it to the kids. So he's gotta do it really subtly.
And as you're happily giggling to yourself and dreaming about this, and like eventually it sort of becomes a dream of you living in a tropical treehouse with all the kids serving you like coconut drinks. Maybe it's a vision of what the resort will one day become. But suddenly all the pirate children are like little casino employees, and you're a high roller. And then that begins to transform to another familiar idea in your mind. You find yourself in front of one of the casino's tables, but you're not in this like jungle high top casino. You are with Finn back at her family's casino in Mysticport. Arcane Aces, right?
Yeah, it's good to be home.
So you're it's a replica of one of your training days with Finn. She's playfully showing you how to run one of the blackjack tables. She seems to be doing a much more intricate job than usual. She really knows her stuff right now. As she's showing you her way of revealing the cards, your hands touch gently, and she smirks, and her eyelashes flutter slightly, and you catch a moment of understanding and appreciation of just this slight, playful physical contact. She begins to show you how to shuffle with her special magician's flourish. Um, but as she catches you watching her, she puts the cards down for a second and excuses herself to get you both a drink. You feel a warmth in your heart. You feel as though this is a moment where things felt nice enough that you wish time could have stopped here for a moment longer. You watch her go. As you watch her go back to the bar, what's on your mind?
I think Wei is super conscious that he's in a dream right now, but he is kind of just basking in the feelings of the good old days. Like I said earlier, like, oh, it feels like home. He really did like working at the Arcane Aces.
As you absent-mindedly return your gaze down to your cards, you see now that your wrists are connected to the table. And not just connected, you're handcuffed, shackled to the handles on the table's edge.
Uh-oh.
You look over to Finn, and she's smiling at you, standing next to that creep, the one who set you up on that deal gone awry. They're both staring at you, smiling as you try to fumble with the handcuffs.
Yeah, Waylon just kind of starts fiddling with it, and as it doesn't start coming apart, he's getting a little bit more frantic, and under his breath, he's just, like freaking Fleabag, I can't,
He, as you are staring at the handcuffs, make a sleight of hand check to see if you can somehow slip your way out of them or somehow pick the lock. After a brief moment of finagling with them, you find a gilded edge sticking up from one of the embellishments on the table itself, and you're able to ram it into the key slot on the handcuffs and free yourself from them. You look up with delight to try to show off a little bit, like, ha, you think you could get me. But as you look around you, the casino has disappeared completely, and you are now suddenly adrift atop a piece of wood next to the card table in the open ocean.
Waylon is instinctually panics. The dice have decided that he can't swim, and I don't think he's dreaming himself in the maritime, the armor of the mariner.
Mm.
So he's clinging to the wood that he's on like he's in the Titanic movie.
You sort of grab onto the table, which is floating on this, like, yeah, this piece of wood. And you can see the black fins of sharks circling around you as you are in the center of this this very precarious situation. And as you look off towards the horizon, you see a vision, almost like a portal appearing before you, of Finn standing before her father, laughing. She's in his office, and they're having a good old time. They're sharing drinks together. She says, yeah, he fell for it, hook, line, and sinker. He actually believed that I cared. This is the perfect time to hang him out to dry. He'll go out, and then whoops, he won't come back. They both laugh.
I think Waylon gets confused. Like, that? How would it happen? Is that? No, that doesn't sound like man.
You feel the wood below you rumbling. The sharks beneath you are slamming their noses into the wood, trying to topple you into the sea.
Bad shark, bad!
Make a con save to see if you can keep your balance.
Ooh.
You do. You manage to stay on the wood and stay upright even as the table slides off of it and into the ocean below. The sharks begin to tear at it and smash it to pieces. Suddenly, one of the sharks knocks with its tail the side of the wood into the air, and you begin to flip upside down, and as your back would splash against the water, suddenly it falls upon cold grass. You hear the sounds of wild dogs barking, shuffling through the woods. It's nights. You're in that forest. The one where you made your getaway after the deal went bad. You instinctively feel the need to run from these dogs.
Yeah, Waylon, as soon as he touches grass, flips over and just starts to hoof it.
Make an athletics check as you try to make your getaway. It's no good. Every chance that you take to jump over a rock or a log, the dogs will lunge out of another bush or another clearing. They are around every turn. There is no place to hide. They can smell you behind every tree. As you make a one last-ditch effort to make a breakaway, you leap. And as you go over a bush, there's a ditch, a ravine, and you tumble and fall. And you land on your knees. They're aching, cut by the rocks. And you look forward, and there, upon what appears to be a small pedestal of stone, you find the body, a corpse in the woods. When you approach, you find that it is a dead body with a hideous smile. It is clear to you that is your face.
Is it Jarvis's face?
It's identical to your own face. Yes. The face that you know.
Yeah, Waylon's just staring at it for a long moment, and then he goes, I'm sorry.
You hear a woman's
Oh,
voice
fuck.
laughing. A princess-like human dressed in pink fairy clothing is tap dancing upon a nearby gravestone. She sings to you. What's mine is yours, what's yours is mine. What's mine is yours, what's yours is mine. You'll never see your face again. Your life is not your own. Then suddenly,
Thank you.
you feel her whispering her breath in your ear. Hi, Fabian. You awaken, cold sweat on your brow. You can hear Oz muttering something to Tonka, semi-happily, semi-dreamily. You feel completely out of breath. Like you really have been running that much.
Yeah. I think when Waylon woke up, he kind of threw the blankets off of him, did a quick look, like, no little pixies hiding anywhere. I think he's gonna, like, kind of get up and lap the ship.
When you throw the blankets, they land on top of Kelkan and cover him completely. He continues snoring unabated, although he now looks kind of like a ghost.
Waylon is upset by this and walks fast.
Waylon, you make your way upstairs, at which point you're able to, from the torchlight, catch a glimpse of what is clearly Ronnie, just unmistakably Ronnie, atop the crow's nest. You guys' eyes meet momentarily.
Yeah, Waylon's just kind of like squinting, like, why?
It's still late, so I think Ronnie wouldn't like yell or anything, but perhaps like scooches and does a slight gesture of like, "You're welcome if you want, but I'm here for a minute."
Yeah,
Is what is intended in that gesture.
Waylon shrugs and he'll climb up.
Before you do, you feel a pulling in your mind for a moment with Fabian before you climb up. And you're just going to hear him say to you, whispering himself, being like, "What the hell was that?"
That wasn't you? That's even worse!
Why would your dream have me in it?
I don't know. That's the thing. Shh. That little thing was talking. It talked to you. Did you hear my dream?
I heard that part. I was asleep otherwise. Yes, I do sleep from time to time.
How do you not know if you don't sleep? That sounds horrible.
What did she look like? I only heard the end.
Waylon will try and describe it as best he can, but he does use a lot of adjectives like creepy, spooky. I don't know, a lot of teeth, black eyes, bad. Very bad.
You hear Fabian fall silent. It seems...
Is this a good silent?
It is not. It seems we'll have much to contend with when we reach Plantania. But hopefully we still have some time to prepare.
Oh good, the cryptic ship. I love the cryptic ship.
I'm sorry, this caught me off guard as well. Tomorrow, let's speak more of this tomorrow, and the day after. Our agreement, our arrangement. It seems we've angered someone with it. A former partner of mine.
Wait, when you say partner,
Yes.
are we business partner?
No.
Romance partner?
Yes.
Bank heist partner? There's a lot of partners.
Yes.
We could work with. Oh, cool. You're bank robbing X.
Mm-hmm.
Great. I love this for us.
Yes, you're not going to like the way it goes.
Not liking it already.
You see, she's the jealous type. Let's just say there was a time when she would have really liked to be living inside my head, and now our current arrangement might have peeved her slightly.
Well, I would prefer if she did wear my head on a pike or a necklace or whatever the fuck she's planning.
Well, yeah. I think we'd both prefer that. I mean, where else would I live? I'm sure there's an easy way out of this. I mean...
Is there a godly relationship counselor we can go to? Maybe we can... maybe a custody agreement? Maybe... There's a lawyer god, right?
I'd worry more about godkin than gods right now.
A lawyer god?
Meanwhile, Ronnie is just staring at you as you talk to yourself. Probably Fabian, but...
Yeah, I think it is a lot more like Waylon talking to himself now that there's no one around and the cat's out of the bag. At least to the party.
Aw, yeah. One of our best bits. It's gone.
For now.
For now. Are you gonna... You get the sense that Fabian is... Yeah, being cryptic about certain things. We'll answer anything else you have, but if you want to go up and talk to Ronnie, you can do that too.
Yeah, Waylon just wave it off. Whatever, we'll deal with it later. Climbs up, he's kind of grumpy, sits, crosses his arms. Stupid X.
You couldn't sleep either?
Oh, did you have a creepy dream with a little pixie gal too?
No, I had a creepy dream with a variety of other figures.
Mine too. What was yours?
It's hard to say. It seemed that it was my mentor come to berate me, but I don't believe it to be a true sending of his. I was hoping to speak with you in the morning. With your experience, Ronnie, like gestures, like to your head. Are there ways for those who remain to reach us in this way? I'm aware that I have some small access to some of the energies they've left here, but I have no relationship such as yours. I don't understand who could now be knocking.
I don't know. With what I do know about those that remain, their power isn't like the stories. I don't want to say diminished. It's different. It's not the same. I don't know if they would have that power. It seems like Fabian is local, but I don't know. He made it seem like this isn't exactly a god thing. He made it seem like this was another godkin. Fucking X. Could have warned me.
You feel sorry in your head.
Yeah, Waylon's not like.
Godkin.
Really made it. I don't know. That's the thing he's been worried about.
I don't know if that's more or less alarming. I understand theoretically that the gods are well beyond the godkin in power, but they aren't here. All due respect. And they sort of nod towards Waylon's head. But if our experience with Nautilus Bloodfoam has been anything, it is that these godkin are very real. I do not like to be have one such as them personally aware of us, knowing things that they should not know.
Yeah. Yeah, if they can pry into our heads, that's a problem.
Do you know anything about sailing, Waylon?
Sailing?
Yes. The captain shared that we had changed our heading, but I didn't get a chance to find out why. And now I'm concerned.
Waylon, make a wisdom check on this.
Just a general wisdom?
Yeah, I would say.
Alright. Here goes nothing. 0 mod.
Just based on your street smarts, you've got the feeling that Horatio is probably scared of Naughty. and he is sailing in a semi illogical path rather than taking the fastest route so as to avoid Naughty if Naughty is somehow on the trail or whatever.
Yeah, Waylon starts with, well, this is only the second time I've been on a boat, but, if a guy was, like, able to sink a boat with a thought, might be a good idea to stay the hell away from him.
I think Ronnie has a moment with that response of also being like, oh, yes, he said he thinks he's being hunted. He would know things about losing pursuers, but they don't bring it up because that seems rude. But they are sort of like, thank you. That is a comfort that he is not intentionally bringing us towards something that might do us harm. We should speak to the party and perhaps the rest of the crew in the morning and see if perhaps only you and I are lucky enough to have these disturbances. And it is nothing other than Tavian's questionable cooking.
I don't know,
They
I heard
sort of meanly, but obviously Tavian's great.
Oh, no, Tavian's great. I thought I heard Oz talking about a dog. and a raven, but mostly dogs.
That sounds like Oz.
As you guys are speaking, you stay up there, I assume, for a couple minutes more, just sort of regaining your composure or whatever. Let's take a hop back down to visit our last two dreamers. Let's step inside Kelken's mind. Kelken, who's now completely covered by a sheet that you can see him breathing in and out. Kel, you, despite your stature, feel yourself shrinking in your dream. You're back in your home village, where it feels like you are a halfling amongst giants. Everyone around you is occupied with other things. Some are doing a caber toss, some are felling wood, some are telling loud stories, having a drinking contest, some are doing normal chores and errands, farming. When you try to get anyone's attention, they just ignore you or dismiss you, wave you away. It feels like being a child, but you have your full consciousness, your full array of abilities and movements. They seem unimpressed. And as such, you begin to wander away from them into the woods, left alone with your books. You're alone, and you have one of your favorite tales with you, and you begin to read about it when you hear a rumbling, the sound of a stampede, and lightning and thunder behind you.
I think Kel, living in the mountains and the woods, is used to thunder and lightning, but hearing what sounds to him like a stampede just immediately signals, ooh, creatures to go look at for a while. And so I think he'll kind of head over in the direction that he hears the stampede coming from.
You make your way through some vines to a clearing, and there in the center, you see a large, magnificent elk-like creature covered in, much like the surrounding trees, in vines. Its antlers like huge tree limbs with leaves emerging from the tops of them, and almost like a shaggy beast. It has vines covering its body that sort of interact with the flowers and nature and wildlife around it. It is larger than you. Even when you feel yourself at your full strength and your full height, it feels imposing to you, a person of your size. It seems to be emerging from a series of clouds that rumble and have electrical static bursts coming from them as well.
I think as much as shivers are going down his spine, there's something oddly compelling about the creature. So just very tentatively, I think he's gonna step forward and just like very gently reach out his hand and say, "I'm, I'm not going to hurt you," and try and just step up to it and like touch it on the side of its snout.
As you reach forward, the elk stomps its hooves, and lightning bolts emerge from the dark clouds around it. The vines raise up and begin shaking and rattling like the rattles on a rattlesnake, creating a huge web of electrified vines that sort of create this peacock like plume around it, very large and intimidating. You feel it scraping its hoof into the dirt, preparing to charge.
Um, I immediately, I think Kelkin scrambles back to the point where like he almost trips. He was just under the impression that this was just a giant elk that happened to be like a very ancient giant elk, but seeing it manipulate nature in this way, he just scrambles back and like tries to get as much distance as possible.
Make an athletics check as you are attempting to evade this thing as it stampedes towards you. You stumble and trip, falling forward, and you can feel the vines and horns take you and scoop you up and shoot you forward with a blast of electricity. You fly with magical energy out of the jungle, or not the jungle, I'm sorry, the forest, and into the clearing where you can still see the village down the trail. You see the villagers laughing and playing and having a good old time. You are injured and in need of help, desperately.
I scramble down like tripping over myself, clutching my arm, and like God, everyone, I saw something. I saw something incredible. I've never seen it before. You have to come. You have to look, please.
As
You
you
have to come
approach
see.
them, they seem to get bigger and bigger, and your body becomes smaller and smaller. You cannot get their attention. When they see you, they laugh and dismiss you. You are bleeding and scorched, and you can hear the hooves getting ever louder. It is now, you are the size of its hoof now, as it is running towards you. The others don't seem to care.
Um, I think Kelkin isn't going to run out of the village yet, just in desperation. Like you said, there were multiple groups, like running up to everyone individually and like trying to shake them and being like, Please help me."
They kick you away.
And I think as like the hooves are getting closer, he just abandons the village and runs into the woods.
You keep running. You can feel it behind you. It seems to be growing ever larger. You can feel the hoof above your head as it slowly falls upon your skull. And then you awaken. But you are not back on the pirate ship. You found yourself adjusting your glasses. You've fallen asleep with them on again. You're in a fine, ornate study that you recognize as your own. As you look out the window, you appear to be on the second floor of a major city. You're completely in the center of civilization now. The study is rather nice. You're surrounded by books on shelves, all you could ever wish to read. As you look at some of these books, you realize they're not written by your favorite authors. They were all written by you. You have written hundreds of volumes, encyclopedias on biology, monsters, creatures, and the sciences. These are not small tomes, they are huge, vast works. But when you open them, the knowledge all feels foreign to you. You feel insecure that if you were to answer or to ask, if someone asked you a question about any of these books, you would not know the answer.
I think I immediately just start pulling like a book off of the shelf and like frantically reading it, like desperately just trying to memorize anything I see. Like not even starting at the beginning of a chapter, just like opening the book and being like just trying to force the words straight into my brain with no comprehension or understanding or anything like that.
The words are beyond you. They all seem to represent and reference complex theorems that are from other books that you haven't read yet. Everything is written in a very condescending tone that assumes you already know this, and that things that someone wouldn't know are, of course, very obvious to you. You are the keeper of all knowledge. You can't believe this is your own voice. You can hear it as your own, but you can't believe you would ever speak to anyone this way. As you page through this book, your anxiety begins to grow until it's beating in your temples. And then suddenly, boom, the door bursts open, and a small, petite, cute, curly-haired female goblin appears carrying a stack of your books. She dumps them on your desk and tells you that it's time for you to get to work.
This this isn't me. You have the wrong person. This isn't me. This isn't how people see me. I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing.
She rolls her eyes as if she gets this speech from you once per day. Yeah, she says. Get to work. She stands cross-armed, waiting for you to do whatever it is she expects you to do.
Please just let me go.
You have to
Please?
work. We're behind schedule. She points to the books.
I just kind of, with shaking hands, pick one up and start to try and recall like one of the messy doodles. No comparison to what was in the books, just like barely legible scribblings and anatomical doodlings of whatever we've come across in our travels.
When you open the book, it's already finished. All of your work seems to have already been done. You look up at her, confused. She sighs and says, autograph! You have to autograph them! Sign them all! The people are waiting.
All of these?
All of them, yes! We've got more outside.
I didn't write this.
No, you have to write it now. Sign your autograph.
Just also in shaking hands, just on the, like, opens the front cover of the book, and I guess, like, underneath the dedications, just, like, scribbles his name very messily.
And what do you write?
Just, like, I think in print, just the letters KELQEN, but, like, very childish, very childish handwriting, like, with shaking hands, so everything's just, bent out of shape.
Make a sleight of hand check.
Ooh.
As you are writing, you feel that a feeling of power and prowess that you have not felt at all while you've been on the island. And though you feel frightened, you also have this incredible innate worked ability just from rote of writing so many of these. And instead of writing just Kelken, you find yourself instinctively writing Kelken the Amazing or Kelken the Scientific Genius, as you have no choice, as if you have no choice but to accept these titles. And this is how you see yourself. Your hands begin to work even faster than you can control them or know what you're even doing. Your hands begin to cramp as you're signing these autographs, one after another, and the goblin will not let you stop, seemingly upset and frustrated with your pace even as you fly from one to the other. You have too much work to do. Her eye-rolling demeanor is of a put-upon assistant with a lazy, lackluster boss. As you continue your toil, you glance out the window, hoping for a brief reprieve of something nice like a city park. And in the streets, along the cobblestone, you see a familiar face. Dr. Arden Wilder. She's strolling by the window, clutching at her arm. It looks like she's looking for someone. She's asking someone for help. It looks as if she's injured.
I immediately just try to drop the book and the pen and just bang on the window and yell as loud as I can. I'm up here. I'm up here.
She cannot hear you. The goblin points back towards your desk. You have to complete your work. We're running out of time. Your work is what matters.
This matters too. Please just let me go.
You
I
have to get
things
back
do.
to work. As the words hit you like a ton of bricks, you find yourself awake again on the ship. But
except I assume I can't see anything because there's a blanket.
There's a
over
sheet over your head, yeah. You feel blind and confused.
I think I immediately just start to freak the fuck out, like just flailing my arms and legs, just further tangling me up in whatever sheets are over me. And I think I try to scream, but it's muffled just because I have like 2 sheets over me.
After a little bit of semi-awkward flailing and panicking, you realize it's just a bed sheet on you.
Who's at this point is Oz still in there muttering?
Oz is happily asleep at this point with Tonka. Finn is also asleep out like a light.
But Wei and Ronnie are. I mean, I guess it would be dark. I want to get some. I'm restless anyway, but I just take one of the blankets and kind of curl it around myself and stare out the window broodingly. There we go. I'll do that.
So you're not going to go above deck. You're just going to sort of look out one of the portholes and...
Yeah, because just staring out of that dream window was nightmarish. I think I find some peace in looking out of a nice window.
The sea rocks.
I mean, I guess the view's nice, not the window.
And you can get the murky depths and a little bit of the night air and sky. It's a lot calmer than what was racing through your head a second ago.
I think I'm trying where before I took Finn's words as like, you know, you're like a cool nerd sort of vibe, and then I think of that dream and I'm suddenly not so sure if being the nerdy knowledgeable dude is what I want anymore.
Mm-hmm.
As you contemplate this, we are going to step inside Finn's mind. Finn, as you fall asleep, you are immediately overcome with the smells of hay and popcorn, loud, boisterous, clownish music, and a big top tent with spiraling ribbons and a tightrope act above. You find yourself performing at a circus, dressed as an acrobat. It seems your father is wearing a big top outfit as well, and your mother stands nearby in fine furs, clearly a benefactor, while your dad is sort of the ringmaster of the whole piece. Your father yells at you from across the way after speaking to the crowd. He says, "Hey! Why don't you get up there and perform if you want to perform so much?" The crowd laughs and jeers at you.
Am I standing at the bottom of the tightrope?
Yes, you are. You turn and look for some sort of confirmation about what you're supposed to do, and you see Uncle Vice giving you a thumbs up and pointing you towards the ladder heading upward. The crowd
All right.
begins to heckle you and throw things at you as you make your way towards the ladder.
Yeah, instinctively she's just gonna climb it.
You begin to climb up. It feels impossibly high as you climb hundreds of feet in the air. Down below, the people look just like ants to you now. The ceiling of striped red and yellow is so close that you can touch it now. You can hear them all chanting and booing and being incredibly rude. There's a gnome standing atop a little platform. He hands you your wand and says, "Here's your baton."
Thank you.
He shoves you forward towards the edge of the small, frail wooden platform. Down below, you are now 1,000 feet in the air, somehow at the top of the circus that is this big and high. And the rope itself does not look like a normal cord of rope. It looks impossibly thin, like a string or a piece of dental floss. There's no possible way that it can support any human, maybe not even the gnome. The crowd, as the longer you linger, the crowd becomes more and more furious, booing and shouting, calling you a coward. Now your father is joining them, yelling for you to walk. He's insulting you, saying, "This is what you said you wanted to do, and now you're too scared." Your mother turns away, heading for the door, already disappointed. Even from this distance, you can hear her say, "Typical."
I'm gonna fall. I can't do this.
The gnome is standing between you and the ladder. He breaks the ladder off and tosses it down below. You have no choice. You got to walk. This is what you said you were gonna do.
I think she's gonna look at it for a second and then look at the baton in her hand. And kind of like spitefully is going to try and see if she can, instead of walk, wrap the baton on the string and glide across.
Ah, like
Like a zip
using
line?
it. Yeah, like a zip line, right. Okay. So the rope is at your feet right now.
Yeah.
So you're going to describe how you're going to make this work.
She's gonna sort of like crouch or sit down on the small platform and then just hook the baton around and sort of like launch herself off the platform.
At first, the crowd is furious. She's changing the act. This isn't what we got. This isn't what we signed up for. They're throwing stuff at your father now. He's furious at you. But there's a moment where you feel free. You sail through the air with the greatest of ease. And you find yourself soaring across this mile-long trapeze, like a zip line. And then, slowly but surely, it begins to sink a little bit. And you lose your momentum. And now you find yourself holding on to the wand above you, but you've lost all momentum and you're at the center of this line. Everyone below you starts laughing. They can tell you're stuck.
Someone help?
The crowd laughs even more. Your father grins with a vicious glee. "I told you you were gonna fall!"
I'm not gonna fall if someone would help me.
The gnome on the other end begins to shake the rope. The crowd below begins to hoot and cheer. Make a dexterity save to try to stay on. Whoa, natural 20.
Hey.
He begins to bounce the rope. You begin to tilt back and forth like a hang glider, losing control in the wind. At some point, it bounces you so hard that you flip. And miraculously, because of your incredible acrobatics ability, you actually land atop this dental floss string, perfectly keeping your balance, holding the wand, and tightrope walking just as you were intended to do in the beginning. The crowd stops jeering and is awestruck. They begin to roar with applause.
Huh. Yeah, I guess I did it. Ta-da! She like goes to strike a pose.
As you pose, you feel the rope begin to give. You turn to see the gnome who has stepped away. He had been applauding too. It's not his doing. You look forward, and the rope at the other end is fraying, slowly coming undone.
No, she's like frantically looking around to see if there's anything else to grab onto.
The points of the ceiling are about 20 feet up from you now that you're in the center of the big top area. And as you begin to look for another option, some sort of swinging bar, anything to grab to, how far it might be to try to leap to the next ladder, the rope snaps, and you fall. And you plummet hundreds of feet down, 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 straight into the dirt ground. As the crowd gasps, you finally hit the dirt, but you do not break. You sink into the mud-like surface. A sploosh of goo surrounds you. It's a filthy mud like quicksand. And as you sink, the crowd starts cheering. That's right, your father says. You belong down here with us. There's no way out now. Deeper, deeper into the mud, you begin to sink until you have to tilt your face up to keep breathing. As you twist your neck to look for help, you see Wei, you see Oz, you see Ronnie and Kelkan entering the circus, handing your mother the tickets. They can't see you. You try to wave to them, but they can't reach and you can't move your arm. And suddenly, you sink out of view. Then, when you open your eyes, a bright light is singeing your retinas. You're in a white building, wooden, a hospital, but you're uninjured. Your clothing is white too. It looks like someone has dressed you as a nurse. All around you, in the beds, are the infirmed. They look like pirates, or maybe even casino guests. Rough, disgusting characters with broken limbs, dripping poison from their mouths. And they're all wrapped up in hospital beds with broken limbs. The other nurses urge you. You must feed them their medicine. They point you towards the bottle. It is a foul-smelling liquid that smells like the worst alcohol or oil. The patient opens his mouth before you. His breath reeks. You need to pour the medicine in.
She's gonna do it.
Make a sleight of hand check to gently pour it onto the spoon and then into his mouth. You spill some, and as it hits the ground, it begins to eat away at the wood below like acid. The patient begins to panic. He begins to scream. Suddenly, all the patients are screaming and pointing at you. Everyone in the room are acutely aware of you and your failure. You try to look for an escape, but the windows are barred. There is a gnomish clock on the wall that is running backwards. There is no end to the workday in sight. You are their servants, and you're here forever. You awake with the shock back in the boat. You see Kelken peering out the window nearby, slightly startled by your sudden awakening. Oz is sleeping happily with Tonka.
Huh. Does Calc notice me?
Yeah, he does because of the way you woke up. You sort of woke up with a start, and he's already kind of skittish right now.
Scared me.
Oh, sorry. Um, just a really weird dream.
Yeah, same. Do you know? Well, I guess you wouldn't. The others seem to be gone. Other than Oz, and I just point to the back corner.
That's weird. I mean, if we both had weird dreams, maybe they did too, but why? That would just be too weird, right?
I guess that makes sense. I kind of just assumed that maybe they were having trouble sleeping, but it
You
does
hear a
seem.
pounding on the door.
Who's there?
Oh,
You hear the noise of someone running away.
Can I just whip open the door quickly and see?
Right, yeah, you can. You can run over to the door. Make a perception check or an investigation check. Do you have dark vision?
I do not.
Okay.
Do
So
you want
with
me to make it a
disadvantage,
disadvantage?
yeah.
Okay. You said perception or investigation. Okay, perception.
Oh,
Oh,
nice.
hell yes.
You see a figure in the darkness, running away and off to the other side of the boat.
Do they go up a deck or do they stay in the middle deck?
They are going up, above board.
who
Uh,
was it?
I have no idea. You wanna go? You wanna come with me? I feel like I need to go check it out. That's too
Sure.
much of a coincidence.
Sure, yeah, let's Oz is fine. Let's go.
As you
And I
step
just follow
forward,
them.
Cal, you almost step onto something that has been laid at the door.
Oh.
You, based off that roll, let's just say you easily find and pick up what appears to be a rose that has been enchanted to give it a delicate glass appearance. And there's also a small scrap of paper with some writing on it.
I'd like to pick up both, and I think it might be a little too dark down here because everyone's asleep to read the scrap of paper, so I'm gonna head above board anyway to try and get a little more light on it.
Okay.
That is where they headed, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Do we notice them?
Are you
Wait, what the
guys
heck is
you
that?
guys are still up there at that point. So make a I would say because Ronnie's been doing this for a while and it's Ronnie's job to invest or to look at the crow's nest. I'm gonna say with advantage you can do a perception or investigation check to see what's going on down below. And Ronnie, you have dark vision, don't you?
I do.
Okay, great.
Should I also do perception or just Ronnie?
Yes, you can. You're human, right? So you don't have dark vision, right?
Yeah, I think what's happening is Waylon's just kind of. I have to keep Ronnie awake, so he's just blathering on and on. You can tell
Yeah.
he's like nodding in and out of sleep.
It didn't read to me based on what the situation was that Way would be actually being looked at in the dark without it being really able to see. So Way, you think you see something, but it could be anything on deck. It could be just a shadow. Ronnie, you definitely see a humanoid figure moving up the stairs and then to the bow of the ship, or not the bow of the ship, to the helm where the helmsman would stand.
I don't
And
know. Is that the front?
it's sort of like the back of the vessel where the
Okay,
the
right
wheel
where the
is.
wheel is.
Yeah, exactly.
Are they moving normally?
They seem to be skulking, trying to be secretive and moving quickly, and they seem to be crouching down behind some barrels to try to hide.
Ronnie's gonna nudge Wayland and like do like a side head nod without saying anything to bring your attention over and head down the rigging.
Okay, as you're heading down the rigging, um, Kel, you're going to be coming up with Finn behind you.
Yeah.
In the torchlight, down here, you are able to get a closer look at both the object and the note. And you can share it with Finn as well. It looks like I said before, it looks like an enchanted rose that is made of very sharp glass and looks very fragile, but also very beautiful, and sort of has like a blue crystal outline to it because of the enchantment, but also has its thorns, which are sharp and spiky, now crystalline, and also its beautiful red bloom, a very pretty rose. It doesn't really give off the full smell of the rose. Almost its scent has been encased in this enchantment. And then there is a note, and uh, it looks to be written in something red in a very clumsy manner, splotchy, and it just says Finn.
I hate to maybe freak you out, Finn, but there's red ink on this, and it kind of has your name on it.
You know, this happened like all the time in the casino.
Oh, I don't need to worry about it then. It's fine.
But
Nub.
I mean, I've never seen a rose like that before. That's crazy looking.
I guess this is probably for you too. Do you know what it is?
Not really. Can I hold it and then do an arcana check?
Sure.
Just in case it's weird. Okay, I
It
don't know.
looks nice.
Great.
I mean, hey, if you said this happens to you a lot, maybe it's just a secret admirer.
Can I
Well-
climb down the rigging and join Kel and Finn?
Yeah, you guys are on your way down, and you see them standing there. You basically see them come up as you're halfway down. They look at this stuff, and you can join them now.
Is the skulking person still about?
They are now hiding where you saw them hide. So unless they've somehow moved from there, you haven't seen them since.
Now that so Kel and Finn are up here and no one actually seems alarmed, so I'm gonna sort of try to casually go over there. Just to be like, what are you doing?
So,
and I think Ronnie is maybe assuming it's Tuck.
So you're going by the wheel of the ship to see where this person is hiding, right?
Yeah, but I'm not gonna be like, there's someone over there. I'm gonna be like, oh, hey, everyone's up. Just gonna take a look-see from the aft.
All right. Are you trying to be stealthy about it, or are you just walking over?
Yeah, I don't think I'm probably being weird about it. I'm just gonna walk, but I'm not like really offering a lot of explanation. I'm just sort of like, okay, I just need to go. Someone's being weird. No one seems panicked, so I guess it's probably fine. But again, we had the rat guy. I don't want weird people sneaking around being weird.
Okay.
So I just want to confirm who it is so that Ronnie can be like, hey, maybe this isn't a good time or place our company to be doing weird nighttime stuff.
Weird
Like,
nighttime
that's what they're
stuff.
thinking is going to happen.
That's our specialty.
New name for the episode.
Weird nighttime stuff. Yeah, right. So, give me a second here while I check something out. Okay.
Meanwhile, Finn's like,
So,
oh, sorry.
Concerning.
as you're walking up to the barrels, this figure in the darkness leaps out and grabs you and holds a knife towards your throat.
Do I know who it is?
Yes, with your dark vision, you are able to see that it is clearly Astrid.
Well, it's cool, Astrid. I'm the only one up here.
Why are
I
you
won't say
following me?
anything. Why are you're sneaking around being suspicious?
No, I'm not.
Astrid, we both know you are. I'm not trying to get you in trouble. I just wanted to make sure no one was in danger. If you want to be leaving stuff for people, that's your business, not mine. I didn't see nothing.
Well, you didn't necessarily see that stuff yet, right?
Right. I
True,
don't
I
think
guess
we've
I
had an
was like,
opportunity to.
They might have heard what Kelkin
You were still
and
coming
Finn
down
were
the rigging
saying.
at that point. I'm gonna executive say that you don't know necessarily
Okay.
what they were doing, but you do know that they were skulking about, right? And
That being said, do Finn and I clock this interaction going on by the barrels?
I'm
I think-
on a different level of, like, we're higher up than you.
Yeah.
Right.
So you
Yeah.
you don't have line of sight on it. If you guys, well, it's not super important, but you might have heard the scuffling there, so you might have wanted to go check what was up, unless you had other stuff to say. But basically,
Astrid, it's
yeah, you're saying
we're
it's
all a
cool.
little we're all a little jumpy. I had sorry if I startled you. I had a pretty upsetting dream, and I was up here for some air and saw you moving around. You remember what's his name, the creepy guy from the last boat? You know, I just didn't want anything like that going on. That's all.
Make a persuasion check, please.
God,
With advantage, because of that is a good point about the creepy guy. Is it the rat guy?
come on. All right.
She lowers her gaze. Fine. Sorry about the stabbing. But just don't, like, tell anyone it was me, okay?
Tell who I didn't. Everything. Yep, that's fine. That actually feels honest to Ronnie's charisma.
Oh, I know. I know what's up. She puts her hand in your hand and acts like you're holding hands. No, we'll just walk down like this. Like we're just like really good friends. And we were just
Okay.
talking.
Sure.
Make a make a stealth check as you're coming down the stairs.
Me make a stealth check.
Yeah, make a stealth check.
Oh.
Oh, big stealth, that's good.
Oh.
Okay, wait, I need to find our sweetie. Oh, come on. Too many pages of friggin' NPCs. Sidekicks. Here we go.
As Ronnie and Astrid are coming down the stairs, Waylon is recounting for Finn, but recounting the story to Kelkin about his mom getting ambushed by, or the stalker coming into his childhood home to steal hairs off his mom's hairbrush.
Yeah,
Oh
that
shoot,
tracks.
you're right. I forgot. People are weird like that.
Oh yeah.
So
that's also so weird. I assumed that was like in a scrying magical spell thing kind of way. No, just normal stalker. Who's scary.
No, he just climbed up the window. Yeah, third
You
floor.
city folk have some really weird people.
I
Oh,
tell you. So Astrid is nervous because she just realized that she's holding someone's hand, even though it was her plan, which also didn't make much sense. And so she drops her dagger, and it clatters down the wooden steps. And Horatio is going to emerge from his cabin. What the hell's going on out here? And he sees Ronnie and Astrid holding hands, and says, "Oh, none of my business." He goes back and shuts the door. Hey, you need a drink? At this point, you guys are definitely heard the captain's voice. So, if you guys want to come up and check out what's going on, you definitely
It's
can.
also definitely wasn't Ronnie's plan. So Ronnie isn't gonna do anything.
Right?
They're just like, all right, you got this? Great, cool. This isn't my move. I don't know.
You fix
I
it.
usually ask Finn to do stuff like this.
Astrid recoils her hand and then rubs her hand off like she's trying to remove cooties. Well, that didn't work.
Okay. I'm not sure what we were going for. I'm sorry.
She just grumbles to herself.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. Why? Nothing happened. I'm fine.
Okay. Well, we've all been through a lot, and we haven't really gotten to breathe, really have a rest. I don't know, maybe you got to chat with Polly or Slide. Is Slide here? Ronnie suddenly.
Oh shit.
Yeah,
Oh.
Slide has been below deck and is still impersonating a lizard
Saw the
folk.
token. But I don't know that Ronnie was paying attention. I know you've gone through a lot. If you need to talk, you can come talk to us too.
Oh, yeah, thanks. I'll get right on that.
Okay. Well,
What are the rest of you guys doing at this point?
I guess if we've just come upstairs, how do we find Ronnie and Astrid?
Well,
Yeah.
As we emerge.
That's my question for you. At what point did you come upstairs? When you heard the captain, or did you wait?
Yeah, I think as soon as we
Yeah.
heard
Yeah.
the captain.
Okay, so then the way this plays out is that you come up, you see Ronnie, okay, Wei, Finn, and Kel all see Ronnie and Astrid holding hands. The captain come out, feeling awkward about it, going back inside to drink, and then you guys look at each other from across the way.
Should we
Is what happened.
go with the captain? It feels like they're kind of in the middle of
Yeah.
something. I don't know if
Waylon will kind of arm Kel and Finn to go back downstairs, and he'll give Ronnie a thumbs up and a big wink.
So Astrid's going to see where's the letter and the rose at this point.
Yeah, before I head downstairs, I was like, sorry to bother you. It's just, someone seems to have made what is clearly a death threat to Finn, It's because it's written in red in this terrible handwriting. I'm like, someone is threatening Finn's life. We're just on a bit of a murder mystery, not like a murder mystery right now.
It's not a
You do
death
your
threat, it's a
thing.
love letter. And she covers her own mouth.
Whoa, what's that? Ronnie jumps in. That's so cool.
Uh,
Hi.
And
Uh,
she's squinting.
Yeah.
Loudly outside the captain's
You You see Astrid realize she just like totally fucked up on this whole thing out of anxiety, and she's like panicking right now, almost looking like she's gonna jump overboard, and then she turns and slaps Ronnie across the face and and shrieks, "How dare you! I'm spoken for!" and storms off back downstairs into the cabin.
What is happening?
I think Ronnie just got dumped.
Mm.
I'm really sorry, Ronnie. Do you need someone to talk to? I
I'm
know
really
it's tough.
I got my drink shaker. Do you want to go back up to the crow's nest and get super wasted?
I might have gotten dumped. I might need to talk to someone. I guess.
So
Where did that come from? What is that?
Emotions are hard for me too. I
Oh,
get
what's
it.
that? What's that flower? It's beautiful. Did
Oh,
someone try to kill Finn?
I think it's from your ex. I don't know what's happening anymore.
I also feel not clear about what's happening.
And that came out of left field. How long have you two been? Yeah, I shouldn't pry. You know what? I'm gonna go grab the drink shaker.
Okay.
I have a theory. So, Astrid had a crush on Finn, but then she saw Ronnie and was like, wow, they're just so incredible. So they wrote a death threat to Finn to keep Finn away and tried to put a glass flower in front of our door so that we might step on it and injure ourselves. And that's what happened. Yes.
Did you guys
That's
put an
the
Oz?
only way.
Oh
No.
shit, Oz is asleep. Oz,
I was fully asleep.
Should we?
How
Partly
do
this
we-
music just is making me is it about to start being like sunrise? Should we go get Oz and just have a confused moment?
Yeah, let's go back down to the bedroom and get crunk.
Yeah, what a weird night in
Yeah,
between
okay.
the nightmares and the
You
the
too?
death
You had a
threats
nightmare
and
too?
Did you have
Wait,
a little pixie? A little evil pixie? Bad face.
Yeah, there was this weird little girl creature that made me do tons of work that I didn't know how to do.
Where the fuck, Fabian? I swear.
Well, I don't know why she was in his dream too. That makes even less sense.
Finn too.
Ugh.
Don't
I-
forget about Finn.
I
And
mean,
you had the weird pixie girl in your dream too, with the teeth and the eyes and the creepy
no.
whisper?
Are we downstairs
No,
now?
I didn't say that. What was weird though was that I had the dream and then the flower came. So that sequence of events has been a lot.
I think we should head off from the captain's probably trying to get a little bit more sleep.
Nah, he loves every second of this. Don't
Yeah,
you?
I love
Don't
John.
you worry.
Oh, I can feel it.
Yeah,
I think
but
we just need to protect Finn for tonight. I'm worried. Like Ronnie, can you maybe talk to Astrid? I know you guys have a lot of love between you. Maybe she'll listen.
Until the
she's
morning.
very
Let the
an eel hunter. I have a lot of respect for her.
maybe wait till morning. Let the passion die down a little bit.
Sorry,
Nobody
just
has
imagining
any.
Ronnie standing there like the epitome of not passion. Mm,
And it's just walking off. Nobody has any tact on this boat.
they probably have some hardtack downstairs if you want.
That's better.
Do you want contact?
We, I guess, go down back to our room.
Yeah, Waylon will pull out the drink shaker.
Okay. Are you using the drink shaker now?
Yes, please.
Hell yeah.
Okay. All right. Doesn't this have? Okay, we'll see what happens.
It's for Ronnie.
I'm good, thank you.
Oh my god.
I'm not sure that will make me less confused.
Okay, so you open it and it starts producing very extremely loud angelic music that wakes up everybody on the vessel, and it fills the entire middle deck with the scent of lilac and gooseberries.
Does it wake Oz up?
Oh yeah, it wakes everybody up. Everyone's like
Nice way to wake
swearing.
up.
Does it sound at all like the Azamar?
No, it doesn't. It sounds like
Okay.
church bells and like a heavenly choir, like
It
the
sounds like what's
Hallelujah
playing right now,
chorus.
doesn't it?
Yeah, it sounds like
I-
Aria of the Soul or whatever.
Ronnie's like, I feel less clear now about what drinks are.
With it. Here, I made you a cocktail. It's rum.
Slythe and Polly are banging on your door to get you to stop. The Lady Barnaby is singing aloud with it loudly.
Ozzy does a little stretch, holding both of his wings in the air. It's like, morning. A fun dream.
Okay.
Glad to hear that.
You didn't have a tiny, creepy pixie lady with a creepy whisper at all? Perfectly
No,
normal?
it was awesome. There were dragons and like a bajibber me's and like there were dogs, but there weren't dogs.
Okay, you're safe.
Wait, I kind of turned to the rest of them. It sounds, I think Oz may have had a nightmare, but is just too positive to view it as anything but a good dream.
That
It was
checks
great.
out.
I can find a mask. This guy look good in them.
Oh god.
Ronnie tugs their little hat down over so that they're partially masked with their little dragon eyes. Or with his little dragon eyes. Sorry, I'm
Oz
looking at
just
your art.
whips his
and
head
it's
around
like,
and like the little button eyes kind of jiggle a bit.
you do look good.
There was like a spooky bird voice too. It was great.
Yeah. So we all had nightmares. Check.
As
What do
the
we
as the music fades, everyone groggily goes back to sleep. And Astrid is able to sneak in with them and get back to sleep as if nothing happened.
Astrid is sleeping with us?
No, with the rest of the crewmen in their bunks.
Oh. I was like, that's awkward.
Ronnie, you gotta tell me how to be in the middle of a love triangle. I'm jealous.
Ronnie makes a really confused face. Mm.
What's going through Finn's mind about this whole thing?
she's kind of loving the attention, but she's also like not interested. She's just like, I just thought I guess I did want a girlfriend, but not that kind.
Who would have guessed that after all the wrestling and tension that something like this would happen?
If that isn't lesbian, I don't know what.
And on that note, I think we're gonna wrap things up.
That's the
tonight's
closing
session.
line.
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna get better than that. So yeah, we've had a lot of love and a lot of dreams aboard this crazy love boat. Love, exciting and new. Come aboard. We're waiting for you. That's Godkin, baby. Next week we will be back to close out our voyage and see what else awaits us on the high seas. But I hope you guys enjoyed this special RP-filled adventure as we get a deep peering into our characters' minds, their dreams, their fears, and some other, maybe perhaps foreshadowing. We shall see. But yeah, that'll do it for this week. So let's do a Raideruski on good old Sconebone. And yeah, it was nice seeing Ree and Ink in person this week. Hopefully I'll be able to see everybody in person at some point or other. It'd be great to one day do a D&D live session with y'all. I hope we all get the chance
so many
someday.
dice.
So many dice. But yeah, we'll be back next week with session 22. And I think, if all goes according to plan, we might make Doc and Jarek spawn. So that's the game plan now. We're going to raid out in just a few moments. And yeah, thank you all for being here.
Good night.
All right.
Good night.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Good luck.
Okay. We are raiding out.
Woo.
That was fun.
Dude, that was awesome. Great.
That
was
so
cool.
That was so cool. Also, my dream was so much less scary once I heard everyone else's.
Holy shit, dude.
Dude, the creepy whispers were on point.
Yeah.
Really?
Horrifying.
I think Wade's dream scared me the most.
Oh,
That was
really?
Really scary. Seeing your own dead body and then someone
Oh
whispering.
my
at you.
god.
And the
It's just a normal
bonus,
dream.
with like the meta of like what's mine is yours, what's yours is mine, knowing
Welcome
that
in,
like
everybody.
Wade
Welcome in,
has
Shortster.
this
I'm doing PC
like
Engine,
bargain,
Air Zonk,
and if that's like now
I'm
giving
wearing
other people
aviators 'cause the
access into
character
him
wears
in some way,
aviators,
it's
and I have a bomber
very
jacket,
spooky.
so I busted that out too. And it's kinda dusty and
Not
it's
only
making
that,
me
it's
cough
not a
lot, but
double
that's fine.
entendre, baby.
It's
It's a
fine.
triple
Welcome in,
entendre.
Shortster. Dude, hope you had a good stream. Hope you had a good
More to
session
come.
21. Dude, you guys are
Damn.
fucking kicking ass.
You're just gonna leave us like that.
Hope you had a good
Yep.
time. Get Shortster
What?
followed,
Stay
dude.
tuned. Right? It's a
Nah,
double,
I
it's a triple
think I'm
entendre.
good
I
after the
don't know if you saw
I
it. Son of a bitch.
Damn.
can't believe Ronnie and Astrid are a couple now. Did not
Yeah.
see that coming.
Ronnie leaves to become an eel fisher.
That's
With their
so
girlfriend.
believable.
Oh, it's the brain dude.
Also,
They were
it,
trying
I
so
don't
hard.
understand, but everyone's saying they're roommates.
Oh my god, they were roommates.
Oh, no.
And they were
My
roommates.
homie's leaving me. I need him.
I love Wade's
Oh,
comment
dude,
about being in
dusted me.
a love triangle. Because now,
Get in
technically,
there, bro.
whether he knows
Smoke
it or
something, I
not,
don't know.
he is, kind of.
Looks like my evil twin or something.
That's true.
Also loved it because Ronnie's like, one, not attached to anyone,
Crush them.
but doesn't
Crash them.
know
And I got a one up 'cause I
what
needed it.
quite is being said or
Oh, do I gotta
referenced.
face all
So
of them
they're
at the
like,
same time?
Who? What are we talking about?
On to the next part.
Wait, hold on. I got